All right, all right. Hello, hello. Welcome everyone back to a big Kalis, but plus one comrade happy hour show. How's everybody doing out there? How you doing? Yash, good to have you back, man. And I didn't tell you would be co-hosting, but here you are.
Yeah. Well, it's good to be here as always. Thank you for inviting me, comrade. Appreciate it.
Yes. As everyone knows, I am introverted but willing to discuss crypto. So that is why we are here.
I got to get one of those shirts. That's awesome.
How you been, man?
Good. Well, all things considered.
I mean, good as can be, right?
Yeah.
No cry fagging from you?
No. I think I keep a pretty even keel when
you do. I've never taken you for a cry fagger.
Yeah. So, it is fun. I like to dunk on myself when stuff happens. And
we've had years of opportunity to do that. So yeah. That's awesome.
It's fun.
Somebody's at the door. It's Buck and Dylan. How are you?
Hello.
It's a party. It's a pool party.
It is indeed a bull party.
Is Buck there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just looking at Dylan's mustache and
it's impressive, isn't it?
Feeling like I'm in a gay porn in the 70s.
I mean, hey,
You know who I would love to see wear a mustache? Coffee Man, how you doing?
Oh,
what's up, everybody? Long time no see.
Coffee.
Oh yeah.
Let me adjust myself so you can get this beautiful face. What's up, guys?
Need a mustache on that face, Coffee. I'll bring one back. Oh, Yash. Yeah.
Coffee and I are looking at each other right now. It's very intimate.
That's why I set it up. I got the the Maddie Allen discussion visuals going on. So
that's good stuff right there.
Yeah. But yeah, welcome to the show, everybody out there. Rooms are filling up. DJ Cryptomatic's going to be raiding over here shortly from Twitch. Just to intro to the show, talk fun, finance, or finance with fun. I've never run a sacrifice. I've never created a coin, which also means I've never rugged a coin. I can probably say that for just about everybody here too. So good company, gents. Oh, Dylan, what are we drinking tonight?
Ooh, I am drinking some.
Is that a pina
Japanese
colada? Oh,
Black Nika special.
Oh, very nice, very nice
stuff. I brought out the expensive line, I guess, of the Nika whiskey.
That's what you do when you roll in the Louis. Anybody else out there have any choice beverages before we begin? No,
Actually, I didn't grab anything.
I am participating with the Bardstown Origin Series. Very tasty, especially on the rocks. So cheers everybody out there. OGs in the chat and to all you gentlemen. Let's get some discussion underway. Buck, you usually start us off with like an overall market view. Do you want to do a quick one of that? Because we got a lot of crypto and RH topics to get through later here. But yeah, we've had like a pretty run up in the traditional markets the first few days of the week, I think, and then it just sold right back down to flat at the end of the day today. So like just steam coming out of the AI trade, that kind of like bled into crypto. BTC's down below 95K. Have we topped there as well for this cycle? Just your overall thoughts to get us started.
Yeah, look, I think this is sort of a broad sell-off. I think it's a correction. I don't think it's the beginning of a bear market necessarily. If the AI bubble is indeed popping, then that would be really bad. But I think actually people have been pretty measured about their expectations around that. So I don't think it's actually the swan song of the market, and we're going into the financial crisis. So I expect we'll probably recover in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, my view's sort of unchanged on that. We had a period of very low volatility, and now that's just spiked, and people are panicking, but nothing's really changed. We have a Fed that's still leaning dovish. We have kind of a crazy guy in the White House who is going to want to win midterms. We have the government reopening. Like it all kind of points to me to, things should continue to go up. We had a pretty strong couple of months there in risk markets, and we were sort of due for it. Crypto, I think, is remains to be sort of in a place of nihilism where we haven't really found a real proper use case for crypto yet, and a lot of people who made a lot of money last year have just been taking profits since we got the big Trump bump, including Trump, who's taken plenty of profits with Melania coin. I saw a funny thing that said like Trump killed sentiment with Melania coin and Trump coin, and we never recovered. There might be a little bit of truth to that, but yeah. In any case, I don't think anything's actually changed, just that I can see. So I expect we'll basically just have a little bit of volatility, and things will normalize, and we'll go back to whatever we were doing before.
And I guess, is that general market sentiment, or are you including BTC in that? Because it looks like on one of my charts we're kind of at like a key long-term trend line, but and then RH posted his take this morning. Basically, it was just like, hey, take it easy. Bitcoin does this all the time. We have had some top calls by various people on X. Turbo from our community, smart dude, basically called the top on the day. I believe Steph of certain walks of fame called it a couple days after the top. Do we see all-time highs in the next few months, or even 26, or what's your take on that before we get going?
Yeah, probably in 26. I don't know about by the end of the year, but I think so, probably in 26. I think it's pretty likely that it'll happen in that time frame, specifically for BTC. So I don't know. It's like it's going to be a year of lots of fiscal spending, low rates. We basically just need to cash out all these OG whales, and that takes some time, right? And we've been doing it for a year. At some point, the demand catches up, and crypto has been a pretty hated asset this year. Everything else has done very well, kind of catching up with crypto, but gold's basically doubled its market cap, and stocks have done very well. So I feel like we probably go quite a bit higher next year still. And yeah, I just don't see anything that really gets me super worried, where I think that credit conditions are going to get a lot worse, and the economy will just stop moving, right? I think everybody's still pretty excited about the future. They're still pretty excited about AI and robotics and CRISPR and all this stuff that's supposedly going to come over the next 4, 5, 10 years in the space. So why would you go to cash now? Like when we're looking at potentially some of the biggest technological advances that we've ever seen. coming in a pretty short order. Like they're thinking, like maybe 5 years from now, like they're going to have a lot of this, autonomous driving, robot cars, robot brush your teeth and change your kids' diapers and all that stuff will be available. We're going to have amazing crypto legislature, I hope, and Wall Street building products for crypto properly. Like all that stuff is still to come, and the government still needs to debase currencies, roll debt, do all that stuff. It's none of it really points to me to a period where we're going to have a lot of malaise. So a lot of the risks that were here last year, they're gone. So we're not so worried about World War III anymore. If we ever were. So I think it's actually looking pretty okay. But along the way you get days like today, and that's fun for me, at least.
I enjoyed it. I did some buying this morning, so I hadn't really done much recently. This is traditional markets. I dabbled in some pulse chain stuff as well, and will continue to do so. Perhaps, as we will discuss later, curious to see who might be dabbling in the ProveX or Mr. Proof. Very curious to get I saw Coffee's tweets on the name change, but I'd like to get his reaction in person here in a little bit. But before we do that,
I still like Mr. Proof.
I know you do.
Contrarian there.
I know. I like it. That's what
I honestly don't like either. I think, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why he did what he did, but yeah, we'll get to that in a second. We have done this in a while, so we're going to do a quick trivia round, boys. Springing this on you, but this is just basically an AI generated Richard Hart X post quiz. So if you've been following his account closely, you might do all right, but some of these are out there. So if you fail the lotto draw of a hard question, I apologize. But again, I just threw this together. Buck, I guess since you're right next to me, we can start with you. What was the this is earlier today, by the way. Most of these posts were. And Richard Hart actually referenced this earlier. In a Bitcoin chart post earlier today by RH. What did he say about the current price dip? A, panic sell. B, it's over. C, moon incoming. Or D, normal chill.
Normal chill. Too easy. I like that you gave me the softball. I appreciate that.
This is, Yash might hate me for what he comes up with here. Richard Hart replied to CZ's dip comment with a fun fact about what cosmic event: A, Big Bang, B, black hole formation, C, the heat death of the universe, or D, solar flare.
Oh man, I was not paying attention. I'll go with the solar flare.
Close, but no cigar. It was the heat death of the universe. Sorry, comrade, you've been rugged. And there were three. Crypto Coffee.
Was he referencing pulse chain when he was talking about heat death?
He was replying to CZ's dip comment with a fun fact about a cosmic event. I do not have the actual tweet in front of me, but I forget exactly what it was. I'm not supposed to ask these difficult questions, Buck. I'm trying to run a game show here.
Sorry.
Coffee. Let's see. What's the next question? What in a GIF post? What did Richard mock people for doing at Bitcoin's 100K price? A, celebrate too early. B, selling everything. C, crying about it. D, buying more.
Go ahead and guess crying about it. C, cryfaggery.
C, cryfaggery is correct. Dylan, what X feature did Richard suggest to Elon Musk earlier today?
I actually know this one.
Meme generator. B, crypto wallet. C, AI chatbot. D, work mode without girls, cars, guns, and sports.
This is a really hard one. Okay. Like, I think Elon already has an AI thing, so probably not that one. Can I phone a friend?
No. There are no lifelines on this show.
I'm gonna say the not safe for work thing, the no cars, no girls, no guns, all that shit. I think that's what.
Good guess.
Dylan, you are correct.
Boom.
I hate that I know so much about another man's tweets.
A lot of ladies know about Elon's piece as well. Evidently, going by all the kids he has running around. Buck, Richard's reply to a hypothetical Bitcoin drop to 60K earlier today was A, buy the dip. B, short it. C, posting for engagement. D, ignore it.
Oh, easy. C, posting for engagement. This is like the one day in months.
You read Twitter?
No, where I read Richard's Twitter. Like I usually just try to. Yeah, but today I actually read things carefully.
Oh, very nice.
Well, just because I want to make sure I understand what the fuck is going on. But
your odds on Polymarket just went up for winning this competition.
Yeah. Okay.
Why, Coffee, did Richard say he blocks people in threads? A, to gain followers. B, for fun. C, risk reward better thread quality over potential good posts. D, to promote scams.
I'm gonna go with C, and also with the Easter egg that he called it the cuck chair, the cuck button.
No bonus points, but you are correct. Dylan, what milestone did Richard celebrate yesterday with the screenshot? 1 million followers. B, new all-time highs, which we know that's no. C, 1 million likes. D, only $1 million raised for ProveX.
This is another hard one, man. Why you gotta give me the hard ones, man? I'm gonna go with. Wait, so we're sure that it's not at $1 billion on the stack yet?
We are sure.
Okay, all right.
We got to 1 million though, so yay, 7 figures.
Yeah, so I'm gonna assume, with my educated guess here, it's the $1 million.
Race for ProveX.
Yes.
You are correct.
Ooh.
Buckrock. In a chart post yesterday, this is yesterday, so I don't know how far back you went. What type of scale did Richard add to the inverse dollar chart? A, linear. B, log. C, candlestick. D, volume.
I'm gonna go log. I don't know actually. I didn't read yesterday. I didn't know that.
That was an educated guess, and it paid off, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Boom.
Log is the answer. Coffee. Yesterday. You lucked out, Coffee. Perhaps. Richard extended the deadline for what $5,000 prize contest? A, best meme. B, hex predictions. C, marketing ideas for millions. D, pulse chain designs.
Well, there was marketing ideas and a couple other ones. I'm gonna have to go with whichever letter. Marketing ideas.
C, correct.
C.
Dylan, we are rolling along here.
Man, I feel like I've been C like 3 times in a row.
I hope I don't run out of questions.
You're playing mind games.
Let's see. What did Richard clarify yesterday about ProveX's official site? It's down forever. Use ETH only. ProveX.info is the official one. Or D, no website needed.
I think he mentioned that it wasn't up yet, but it will be soon. And I'm actually unsure about this one. And ProveX.info is the actual site right now, but I think the other one is still being like worked on at the moment. So I'm gonna go with that.
You're correct, sir. Yeah. Fun one for Buck. Yesterday, RH's response to waking up as Elon Musk was the following: Hey, launch a rocket. B, buy Twitter again. C, look at my PP breeding tour. D, code AI.
I feel like getting one wrong. I'll go. I wasn't listening actually, so I'm gonna go with
A. Sorry, the answer is look at my PP breeding tour for the first time ever on the Happy Hour show. Wow. And then there were two. Buck, you've been rugged. Coffee v. Dylan. Coffee. Let's see. Where are we at? Richard's post or answer yesterday to Robin Hood's first crypto purchase question was A, Bitcoin, B, more crypto, C, Ethereum, D, Dogecoin.
More crypto, sir.
Sir, you are a student of the Richard Hart timeline. More crypto.
I'm too good at this. It's like
more crypto is correct.
Double thinking my entire life.
Dylan, to stay in the game. Yesterday, what funny comment did Richard make to Brian Armstrong of Coinbase about token launches? A, they're perfect. B, fix it now. C, you know, it's really funny you mentioned that. Or D, I disagree.
I'm going to go with educated guess. What was C again? Seriously, though?
You know, it's really funny you mentioned that.
Yes, I'm going to go with that one.
Educated guess pays off, sir. Running out of tweets. Hopefully somebody wins here soon. What did Richard Coffee? What did Richard call the Celsius bankruptcy lawyers' actions yesterday? Heroic. B, sounds disgusting. C, smart move. Or D, overdue.
B. It's B. For
B,
boy.
With confidence, Coffee rolls on. Ooh. Dylan, to stay in. Yesterday, Richard questioned X's new encrypted chats by asking for A, beta access, B, link to the code, C, more features, D, user reviews.
Man, I actually missed this one, and I know that beta was out already because I actually had a chat, so it's definitely not beta access. Maybe. I'm gonna assume he asked for the code.
You assume correctly. Ooh. Dylan stays in on the Coffee. In response to Raoul Powell's liquidity flood posts yesterday, Richard said, A, bears win. B, money printer go burr. C, sell now. D, wait and see.
It's B, sir. Money printer does in fact go burr.
Coffee is just on fire. B is correct. On yesterday, RH quoted his own old post as advice for someone struggling, starting with A, invest in Hex. B, block the haters. C, suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. D, buy low.
I'm going to probably get this one wrong.
Uh-oh.
But I'm going to go with buy Hex.
Dylan, you are correct in that you were going to get it wrong. So
okay.
Oh, no, it's all good advice though. It's all not too bad.
Solid advice, but I'm sorry, Dylan, you have been rugged. The correct answer was C. Suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. So long, Dylan. And Coffee, you are a winner. Congrats, my friend. Have you ever
Wow, I got
won
rewarded for
anything on this show?
No, I never thought I'd be rewarded for my X addiction. So
yeah. Well,
this
congratulations. As custom on this show, the game winner gets to address the audience directly, cheer us up or cut us down, cry fag, say whatever you want. You're on. Congratulations, Crypto Coffee.
Oh God. What's up, everybody? Congrats on being here. I got not too much to say other than don't look at the price. Whatever you do, if you don't look at the price, it can't hurt you. I made the mistake of looking this morning. It's pretty rough out there. Crypto's going up into the right. They're devaluing the dollar. These things are certain. Yeah, it sucks, dude. It's not really that fun. But the one thing you can bet on is the government printing more money. So, yeah, I don't know if we're in a bear market, bull market. I don't care about arguing. All that matters is that we're right. And I think in 2026, when the U.S. Department of Treasury starts injecting money back, quantitative tightening stops. You guys have heard this spiel before. So many macro conditions lining up. Yield-bearing Ethereum ETFs. Is Tom Lee going to be wrong on his trade? Just hang in there. If you sell the lows, you were never going to make it in crypto. You got to hold through these times. Bitcoin's dipped 80, 90% 4 times now. Coffee is looking at the price for us. Indeed. Allow me to look at it so you don't have to. If not 26 and 27, why not 2026? If not 2027, then 2028. At some point, crypto is going to have that moment where it really does that drastic whipsaw that overpowers all the stocks, all the dollar, all the other investments you could have made in a span of like 4 to 5 months. And that's what we're all here for, that true alt season euphoria, pulse chain, everything else pumping. It does happen, and people that have never experienced it don't realize. But crypto's never existed in quantitative easing, or tightening rather. It's had 12 years of 0% rates, and now it's had 3 years of high rates after COVID money printing. So crypto's never had to experience a global meltdown like the COVID situation. You came into crypto at a very strange time in its life. You're witnessing the macrofication. It's like a macro asset now. Institutions are getting in and they need to pack their bags before they tell everybody else it's okay. So they don't really care if all the plebs are freaking out. But if you're still here, you're probably not one of those people. So you either believe or you don't. And I hope you all do. I really do. What is the price anyway?
I'm going to guess half a penny.
Half a penny.
Proved to be pretty accurate.
Yeah, guys, still don't look. It's still not good.
Yeah, still not good. Put the bleach down, Hex Wizard 369. And
when it's safe to come out of the bunker, I'll let you guys know.
Yeah, much appreciated.
Not yet. Not yet.
Congrats again.
Honestly, give it like 4 or 5 days. We'll probably be back to where we started.
There you go.
By where we started, I mean 70% down from sacrifice rates. I just mean before it wasn't only the sacrifice. Ethereum just jumped down to 3,100. We're still correlated with the greater market. Everyone just keeps getting liquidated. It's like everybody that's on leverage is just getting evaporated. It's been such a brutal cycle because people think like, oh, I'm not making any gains in the first year or 2 or 3. Maybe if I start trading a little bit, and then they see James win or whoever the fuck, James lose, and they just follow these guys. And they think that's what it is. And it's like, it sucks because the boredom, the idle hands, right? It's tough out there.
Yeah, man. Well, congrats again, Crypto Coffee, for the win. Good job.
Cool horn, bro.
Thank you. We've upped the production budget this season. So we have various sound effects. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Back to, I guess we just jumped into the Richard Hart theme there with the trivia. So let's just roll on with it. ProveX. Since we have done a show last, we have gotten a new project / coin hype tease Then the announcement of a sacrifice. Buck, I believe you and Dylan done a couple spaces. Well, actually, one space after it was announced. You want to take the lead on it because you were pretty, I guess, straightforward with how you explained what it is to, I guess, the common investor. I think you also described it as like nothing like super sexy, but has utility to it. But how would you, for our audience here that may not know what ProveX is, how would you explain it, I guess, to start, and then we'll get into a deeper discussion.
Well, I think I would start by saying I have no idea what it is. The details are incredibly
from
scant.
The details, the lack of details that we've got, but you've postulated some things, I guess.
Yeah, well, gosh, that's always risky. The thing I'm least confident about in this is actually the product, because I don't feel like I really know what the hell Richard's up to. But I guess it's a new spin on something like ZK2P, an OTC protocol that designed to basically circumvent the CEXs, give an alternative way to bring money into Pulse Chain. But Richard's promised something pretty new and novel that hasn't been done before. So maybe it's not just a fork of someone else's work, or a front end for something that already exists. I've got absolutely no clue, and I don't think anybody actually really does.
If they say 100%, they're lying. So yeah.
Other than maybe Richard, but
right,
we don't really know too much. I mean, there's a non-zero chance that he's in a basement in Murmansk being forced to write these tweets at gunpoint. It's I think the whole thing is quite interesting, because particularly the response from the community,
or lack thereof.
Well, no, there was definitely a healthy response.
I was talking, I guess, dollar-wise, but yeah. The outrage and crying, and depending upon what you wanted sacked or to be able to sack, and lots of.
I mean, well, just extraordinary anger and butthurt across the board from a lot of people, and not a lot of positive things to be said. We reached new levels of cryfaggery, I think, which was quite interesting, and I think a little bit unexpected. And I found myself in this sort of weird position where I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, actually, this is pretty exciting to me now, because of it, right? And then you couple this now with just broad weakness in crypto, and that kind of amplifies it as well, right? So if your RH bags were down, like at least you're doing well with your Solana bags. Oh wait, they're down a whole bunch now too, or your Bitcoin bags. So it's the timing of this is quite interesting. So I'm looking at this as actually potentially an opportunity, and I don't know if it is a good one yet. I'd like more details. I'm expecting more details from Richard, but the recipe here for success, I think, is a lot different than what we saw with PulseX and PulseSac. The fact that Richard's only raised about $1 million is something that I don't think anybody could have predicted if you'd asked even a year or two ago. Said what's the size of Richard Hart's next sacrifice gonna be? I think most of us would have guessed, he'll raise tens of millions of dollars pretty much instantly. But the response has been incredibly tepid. And, I think that is deliberate on Richard's part. To me, this is almost as if he's doing the absolute bare minimum, and basically underselling, undercooking, to basically, and also alienating, massive whales in the community like Rackham, who said they were going to come in big, and then saw that they weren't going to be able to sacrifice RH coins, and they say, okay, I'm out. And basically his post today on Twitter was quite interesting, because he pretty much said, look, I've already got your money. I'm trying to get the next billion followers, not you guys. So he's set up something that I think is just a complete inverse of what he set up with Pulse and PulseX. And I was pretty vocally bearish about those sacrifices, because I knew they came at a period of great exuberance in the community, where we raised $1 billion as a community, and lots of people came for a 10,000x that I knew was going to not be mathematically feasible. I now see kind of the absolute opposite conditions, and it reminds me a lot more of the community circa December 2019, when Hex had launched and dropped, I think 97% or something like that within the first 30 days. The sentiment is more like that than where we were at when we did the Richard Hart Pulse chain sacrifice. So as a guy who generally likes to buy things cheaply, I think the conditions could be right on this occasion. So I find myself in a kind of funny position where I'm actually quite interested. And yes, I think the product is unsexy. And I think that's also very good, because if it were sexy, you guys would all be aping into it, right? You'd be saying, hey, how do I give this guy more money, right? And we're kind of in the opposite type of situation. So I have to ask the question, why is it this way? The people out there that I'm listening to, the butthurt cryphagery comes in a few different varieties. There's people that are just broke and really angry, that their bags are down. There's people that are sort of, angry at Richard because, he hasn't delivered. Um, you know, but and there's people saying, oh, it's a cash grab. It's a cash grab.
It's one of my favorites. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I think all of these statements are sort of silly, because it's like, if it's a cash grab, it's not a very effective cash grab, right? He probably could have done a lot better if he had a better logo and a better name. I mean, the name itself, like Mr. Proof, and then Proof, like it's
easy now.
pretty
Coffee's a fan of Mr. Proof.
No, I didn't say that. People love to put words in my mouth, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with him. It's like he's not in love with either of them, he said, right? Like, I think that's yeah, it's like, and the logo is like pretty low effort.
Literally.
The Google search logo.
Yeah.
It's a shield, and he crowdsourced it from a guy who's now basically saying, fuck this thing. Is that like, whoops. Yeah, I don't know. It's literally almost comical in a sense. Someone today was saying, Richard Hart gives me Jim Jones vibes. He's for the people that aren't old enough to get the reference. He was the cult leader that convinced, or that basically had all his cult members drink poison Kool-Aid back in the early 80s. And we basically went down and found them in the jungle in South America, and they were all dead. And that's where the term "drinking the Kool-Aid" comes from.
Education here on the Happy Hour Show. Thank you, Buck.
Yeah, you're welcome. A little history lesson. So I think, it's like, wow, you have incredibly bearish sentiment coming from crypto markets. You have incredibly bearish sentiment coming from the community. You have an unsexy product, an unsexy name. Like the closest analog to this that I know of, is sort of these like, fiat on-ramp OTC products, which no one uses. I mean, like, you don't Venmo $1 billion worth of crypto via these things, right? Venmo will let you do like, like $1,000 or something stupid like that, right? They're not really set up to do, massive OTC transactions. The people that do big OTC transactions are doing them with, like Wintermute or Cash and places like Dubai, right? Like they've got, like real world services for that sort of thing. So it doesn't seem like a product that's going to get a lot of volume like a PerpDex, like Hyperliquid does. It's like I basically have nothing good to say about it, right? It's incredible.
We're still waiting on, I guess, actual details, and
I don't even have any details.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like I don't even know if
we have a website that you can sack to.
I don't even know if there is a product. I don't even know when it's coming. Like,
do we need proof of life?
I don't know if he's alive. Is it going to be Is it going to be another 2-3 years before this thing's ready, or is it ready like soon?
No.
I have no answers to any of these questions.
Yeah, well, none of us do, and I guess that's part of the reason why it makes it fun to talk about.
It makes it incredibly fun. But yeah, I mean, like if I take this all at face value, like a lot of people do, I would be so angry that I would feel like punching a teenager, right? but I kind of like perversely have this inverse sort of sense about this, which is that it's all kind of deliberate. It's like, how does Richard create something so bad that he gets none of us to sacrifice, right? Anything, meaningful.
And he's also making fun of the low amount, in his timeline, which is great.
He's literally pissing on it. Yeah, like, oh wow, look at this. I raised $1 million. Wow, look at that. Do you see that 500K coinmarketcap.com? Look at that. Yeah. Just like unbelievable. So I have to think there's this is deliberate action. But everybody, the average hexagon, I don't know what the median hexagon IQ is, but let's guess around 80. They're saying this is a cash grab. And like I loved I think it was Turbo who put this, or no, was it Tipcatcher? He's like, he raised 500K and like erased 180 million in market cap on his core coins, which is like, and he says this is like like breaking like new ground in capital formation. So obviously a whole bunch of people are super pissed off about that. And he basically puts out a tweet today, basically just saying like, I don't care, like about you. I got to get the next 1 billion followers.
That's
and
right.
How do I do that? So, what's going on here? I'll tell you what I think is going on here.
Oh, I thought you just did.
No. I'm going to rant for a little bit here. I'm almost
Okay.
done though.
Well, I didn't know what that was because I was going to bring coffee and Yash in, but feel free to expound, and then we will.
I'm almost done here. So, and then I swear I won't talk. I think Richard is like, you have to imagine an alternative universe where Kamala Harris won the election.
Oh my gosh. Okay. That's
Okay.
terrible already. Yeah.
All right. So just imagine what would have happened to Elon Musk, right?
Yep.
If Kamala Harris had won the election, right? Like, so imagine Kamala wins the election in both houses, broad mandate. Like, Elon Musk basically like has Twitter like banned. SpaceX gets nationalized. They pin Epstein, January 6th, and Russia gate on him, right? You know, and Elon Musk basically spends like the next like 4 years, basically, you know, fighting legal battles, being labeled a Nazi, you know, being the most hated man in the universe, and so, but he's still rich, right? He still has, you know, hundreds of billions of dollars, right? But you know, he's absolutely loathed and despised publicly by everybody. Everybody turns their back on him. All right, but he gets through it. He gets through his little legal problems. A new Republican gets elected, and um, what does he do? He decides, you know what, to rehabilitate myself, I'm gonna start a new company, and I'm gonna give it a $1 million valuation. Would you would you want to invest in Elon Musk at that time? Well, if you're an average 80 IQ, you know, Democrat, you probably wouldn't, because you'd say, you know, Elon Musk is Hitler. He's responsible for Epstein. You know, he tried to get Trump elected. But if you're a smart guy, you'd go, holy shit, no, this is Elon Musk, and this thing has a $1 million valuation. I'm gonna put some money to work here, right? And you know, Richard Hart is many things, but you could argue that he was basically the Elon Musk of, you know, gamified altcoin. You know, he literally had the best performing one in the world for a while, and you know,
We got to what, number 3, I think.
Knew how to make something pretty extraordinary. Built a massive community, and he's been completely disgraced for, you know, the past few years. And his name's been dragged through the mud. You know, he has no friends, and his own community has basically turned on him, and is now in complete disarray of butthurt. And here's Richard, basically going, "Hey, I'm going to do a new project," and yeah, like, I'm not going to tell you really anything about it. And the sacrifice has already started. You've got 20 days to decide if you want to get in. And you know, like, I'm not really going to give you any reason to put any money into this. It's just going to sit there. And maybe I'll write some documents, and maybe I'll like make a video or something in a few days. Oh, by the way, the website's not up yet. Right. So it's like, to me, it's like, this guy doesn't want you to sacrifice. And
I mean, I think
almost,
if he puts out a pre-recorded video here in the next couple of days, I would have to think that has details on ProveX, and then maybe you would change your tune. I don't know, depending on what those details are.
I mean, maybe a little bit, but then you got to be fast, and then you got to be paying attention, right? Like, and you know, you're not going to generate a lot of hype doing it that way, right? You know, so people that are paying attention and, you know, are available and actually thinking about it. I mean, there's probably a whole lot of people that would have sacrificed for this that'll probably not even know that the sacrifice happened, just because they haven't been paying attention, right? You know, like, it hasn't gotten to them via their channels or their friends or whatever. So, you know, to me, I look at this and I go, well, this is really interesting. I can get the Elon Musk of altcoins, or you know, to base it at a valuation that is probably going to be, I don't know, like somewhere between 10 and 25 million. It would be my guess, right? You know, like that's what he ends up raising maybe in the next kind of fortnight. You know, and it may be less than that, especially after today, right? So while I was always critical of Pulse and PulseX because he was raising hundreds and hundreds of millions, approaching $1 billion, this thing is the complete opposite. And I can only think that's because he's trying to create a very low hurdle for himself to have an easy win. And I think that's what this is. So I'm very interested, and you know that's why you know I've come out vocally. I think I'm the only person that said anything nice about this. Like I haven't seen anyone say anything actually nice about this. Like prove me wrong here, fellas. But like who's come out saying like I'm excited about this?
Well, that's why we have two Hex OGs in the chat. So Yash and Coffee, who wants to take it on thoughts and or speculation or any feedback off of what Buck just laid out regarding his thoughts or postulating regarding ProveX?
Well, I guess I'll start real quick. I don't have a long rant to do like Buck, but I have noticed a lot of the cry fragging in the community, and it's hilarious. It's funny. At the same time, I get it because, you know, we're all in the same boat here. But I just find it funny that guys that in the past, even a few weeks ago, would have been the biggest moon boys, you know, they're praying for 2 cents on Hex now. So it's kind of funny seeing that happen. And yeah, Dylan's an OG too. Let's see. I think people are waiting to sacrifice. I think there's a lot of people that are interested. They just want more information. On the website, you can see that the volume bonus starts to go down on the 2nd, I believe, of December.
Day 21, something like that.
Yeah, so I think there's quite a lot of people, you know, like Buck said, waiting for more information from Richard, this white paper that he's going to put out in 2 days, and it's already been like 3 days. That's pretty typical. Yeah, I think people are waiting. I think people are trying to get some cash together, getting some, seeing how the broader macro plays out. You know, today was a huge dip in the markets for crypto. So I'll let Coffee explain that question. So yeah, I think people are waiting. They just kind of want to see how things play out before they jump in. But I know there's people that are wanting to go into this sacrifice despite not knowing too much about it. But of course, we all want more information,
such as like a white paper or something like that. Coffee, your thoughts on this whole thing, and I'll get your, you know, without putting words into your mouth. Of course, I was joking. Your thoughts on the name choices as well. So we'll start, I guess, with the name choices. Your thoughts on that, and then your thoughts on what could be PulseX or PulseX ProveX, and feedback on what Comrade Yash and Buckamentals have already laid out. By the way, chat, there is a poll in the YouTube chat. What year will ProveX launch? 2025, 2026, 2027, or never? I'm a cry fag, so please go vote right now.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the name and the logo, those things ultimately aren't the most important things. So using that as a community giveaway for interaction and to enable people to feel like they're part of building the thing is more effective than choosing the perfect logo. I think Richard realizes this. You know, it's classic that people overthink the logo and don't think about the product too much. And he knows, you know, it's just, let's leave the website to the people so that everyone can feel like they had a part in building it. The product itself, we don't really know what it is. I'm assuming it's similar to ZK peer-to-peer, zkp2p.xyz. Maybe it's going to be something like a phoenix.market. And I'm only saying this because he's highlighted these platforms in the past. He's tweeted about them. along with things like Liberty Swap. I think the technology that he shares with people is stuff that he's taken a look at. So that's why I pulled it up before to show people zkp2p.xyz is an example. It's obviously not exactly what the thing is going to look like. But the product is, as far as I understand, an OTC peer-to-peer on and off ramp that could disintermediate exchanges, could disrupt the entire centralized exchange model, which is a really big thing. And of course, I wish that my Hex Pulse Chain Pulse X bags were pumping due to people aping in to, join this sacrifice. But his reasoning, when you look at his tweet, you got to understand where he's coming from. Getting in new people is the goal. And one of the mistakes of raising not only near the top of the market, but from a lot of the Hex holders from the last successful project, was that you had a lot of weak hands and a lot of almost an over raise. And hence the 2-year shakeout. Now, of course, the macro conditions didn't really favor us either, but you've got a lot of sell pressure from people that were able to sacrifice Hex at an effective value of 17, 19 cents. They're still, we're all still up on our money as much as people bitch and moan. If you sacrificed Hex back then, you still have a higher dollar value than you would have had if you just were holding Hex today, that same Hex. If you round trip the entire thing, well, you're still up on your money.
And you know what? I think that is an excellent point, and I'm glad you brought that up because I've said that before. I mean, a couple of years ago, but thank you for bringing that up because a lot of people are just too busy crying and whining and whatnot. But
we have a choice about how to frame these things, and would you have really sold the top and bought back in at the bottom? Everybody has this hindsight bias that they would have played it perfectly. But I'm happy I was able to, it forced me to get rid of and almost take some profit back then. But anyway, going back to ProveX. Yeah, we don't know. And not, I mean, like Buck said, there's a lot more details that we would like to know. We'll find out soon. But the marketing strategy is to expand and reach new people. And judging by Richard's previous tweets as well, denouncing the outrage marketing, it sounds like he needs to do a little bit of reputation cleanup. And he clearly stated that if I had to do it again, not all first impressions are created equal. You only get one first impression. A lot of people associate the Gucci suit guy as being a scammer, even though they never listened to him talk. They never watched anything he's actually done. So to do a bit of reputation cleanup, to reach new audiences and to punch out, we need to market this to new people. Or if you really want to sell what I think is going to be valuable one day at the all-time lows, you also have that choice, but I'm not going to do that. So my personal strategy, I've said this before publicly, but I'm holding off. I got a bag of ETH, hoping it pumps in a week or two. Didn't really go so well today, but if ETH can do a 20, 30, 40% gain by the end of this 18-day window, I see no reason to rush into anything. I see no reason to be impulsive. Every time people get impulsive, they usually make mistakes. So a lot of people get the opportunity to learn from history and be a little more composed, a little smarter this time around. I'm sure it wouldn't hurt to sacrifice a little bit in the off chance that this plays out totally the opposite of the last one, which would be kind of funny due to the polar opposite sentiment, right? Everyone hates it now versus everybody loved it 4 years ago. So that would be interesting if, such little money got in that you actually didn't have sell pressure and it launched into a euphoria phase of the market where it never really experienced too long of a dip. But you know how projects are. Every time they do launch, some portion of that initial cohort will sell, whether it lasts a day or 2 days or 50 days or a really long time. Like there's going to be a dip buying opportunity. So yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to be investing, which is why I'll put in such a lower amount personally. But again, waiting a couple weeks to see how the ETH price goes, not selling my cores. I've already had a bag of ETH. It seems like a decent enough use case for it. And I'm excited to see what actually gets built. And I'm excited to see the new direction of how new people can be turned on to this if it's not so much associated with the tainted reputation of Richard Gucci suit guy. Gucci suit Richard is not, the new Richard that I think he wants to present.
Gucci suit Richard, who actually just reply tweeted to I think one of the Winklevi in response to Tyler saying, make sure you have a plan B and a plan Z. And Richard just responded with ProveX.info supports Zcash. So Well done.
He's chilling again. He might live stream soon, so you can tell he's getting back into marketing mode.
Yes, and yeah, we kind of speculated that last show. I actually like went back and just looked at like some notes I threw together before the last one, and one of the topics was, RH is actively posting again. Is this the first phase of him wading back in? And it really is starting to feel like that, especially if you announce a launch of something and then tease like a recorded video. I think it might be a little much for people asking for a live stream, but we can talk about that in a bit. Because I don't think the way his post was worded, it didn't sound like that to me. But anyway, Dylan, as another OG, and the chat got on me for not including you with Comrade and Coffee. Maybe it was just the mustache that just blinded my brain for a second. But your thoughts on this thing, because you've and reactions possibly because you guys have hosted spaces. What are your thoughts on ProveX, or did you like Mr. Proof?
So I like ProveX much more than Mr. Proof. I mean, it's a little bit more marketable. The Mr. Proof is a little more, I would say, maybe elementary. Okay.
Dylan and Coffee debate. No, just kidding. Go ahead.
So,
Mr. Clean.
Mr. Clean. Yeah, that's the instant that popped into my
Mr.
head.
Coffee.
I think we all
Mr.
we all imagine the bald guy with the fucking mop, with Mr. Proof. So,
which means it's a pretty good brand name, wasn't it?
Yeah. I suppose. Yeah, sure. And I think a portion of us was.
I think they're both not great, but hey, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. As far as what this thing will do and stuff like that, we discussed this on our space. I think that, and this is what I've been telling everybody in calls and stuff like that. I think that he'll launch this thing without a product, so we'll be able to trade it. I think that everyone kind of hates it right now, and my initial knee-jerk reaction was like kind of blown back a little bit, and then I was like, oh well, I guess the Band-Aid thing made sense now, in hindsight. And then more thinking about it, just the hilariously low amount that he's raised was kind of like a reality check, and it made me feel like, man, I gotta throw something at this. Like I can't not do it. You know what I mean? Because it really did remind me of early in the Hex days when everyone fucking hated it. Like the news of Altcoin Daily, fucking Lark. I don't even know if he was around at that time. I think he was.
Lark. Crypto Lark.
Yeah. Oh. Everybody and their mother talked about how Richard is recycling this ETH. And it's going into Tornado Cash and all this bullshit, right? And I threw something at it in the beginning, and then I watched it go to dust, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And because I was relatively new at the time, anyway. And I'm really seeing he is literally the most hated right now. He definitely is really hated by the community right now, just generally speaking. The ability for whales to not roll over their bag holdings to try and find some more exit liquidity is off the table, which is, I mean, honestly, it's pretty good, right? Like either you sell and you give me your money or you fuck off, right? Like, I mean, it's pretty blatant, and so I almost think like you gotta throw something at this, right? And especially with maybe him coming to market without having the product actually launched, we could probably have a pretty decent sized bubble of pricing for perfection. Like, holy shit, this is the greatest thing in the world. It's not out yet. And oh my God, it's going to have all these users. It's not out yet. And wow, this thing is in a massive bubble. It's not out yet. And then when it comes out, maybe that changes. You know what I mean? So I think it makes sense. Like, everyone's kind of hurting right now, which I get, but You know, I'm very optimistic on this. So that's my take. That's what I think.
I have one thing to say just about the name. I hate the name because it's like, do you spell prove with one O or two O's? I can't even remember half the time because I'm stupid. Is it proof or prove? You know, it's hard to know which word it actually is. ProveX. It's like it's difficult to spell. But I do like that it's. I think Richard Hart trying to prove something, right? I think
Mr.
that's
Prove
that.
himself again.
Yeah, like I think it is cool in that regard, and yeah, like it's really funny how Richard's teasing it to streaming again in a few days, and everybody's butthurt. This is the best news we've gotten as a community in years. And you get and our response to that is to dump our H coins 20%.
I mean, that when you put it like that, it is absolutely fantastically hilarious.
It's just so, the whole thing's just so paradoxical. So my response to the guy who said that I'm getting Jim Jobin's vibes here. I was thinking, well, okay, there is some probability of that. And, you know, I'm saying, you know, all those kind of imaginary, horrible type things is like maybe 10%. But I think, you know, the 90% probability is that Richard's just literally trying to create a new product that he can have a quick, straightforward success with, you know, a very low hurdle rate. And, you know, reset the kind of horrendously awful narrative around, you know, his ability to generate value again, right? And that's what I think this thing's designed to be. But in order for that to work, he basically needs to kick you guys all in the nuts and you know, make sure you don't sacrifice. And I think that's kind of what he's doing. And like he says he wants to onboard new people, but that's clearly not the case for this sacrifice. Because like I think the number of new onboards for sacrifice is going to be probably, you can probably count it on, you know, your toes and your fingers, right? It's only going to be the few people that are sitting here trying to like think outside of their butthurtness and are just looking at it from, you know, a purely rational perspective, going, hey, maybe there's something here, right? Because
Do you really think? Hold on a second. Do you really think that if Hex was, let's say, approved, right, that there'd be that much more new people coming in?
No, I don't. But the fact that the RH coins aren't approved just means that large whales don't have the ability to basically sacrifice what might be liquid positions, right? Which would nuke the upside, right? So if, you know, guys like Rackham, who got, you know, the big multiplier for PulseX and have been steadily selling, you know, are able to sack their other RH coins to this, they're going to get the 3x multiplier. You know, this is a very useful thing for a person in that position, but they've basically just been told that they can't sacrifice that stuff. So they've got to come up with new capital, right? And then everybody else who has no money, finding new capital is hard, right? So that's why we've got, you know, I don't know what the biggest sacrifice is so far. Is it like 50K, Dylan, still? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, like that's hilarious, right?
And some of those numbers were like Solana scam coins or something, right? Or just like fake market cap or whatever.
Yeah, somebody sent 700K of some shit that was a scam. So yes, people are trying to fuck it, you know, trying to game and shit.
Yeah. So I don't think, you know, so importantly here, it's like maybe this product's going to onboard 1 billion people someday, but it's not going to do it right now, right? Like there isn't even an effort to onboard new people with this, right? There's no information. Nobody who doesn't know this community intimately would even think about sacking for this. I think it's only people that have been around a while and kind of understand the Richard Hart lore and what his motivations might be, who are going to be having a conversation like this. No one else is going to care about this. And with Bitcoin, tanking today, and markets tanking today, like people have lots of other options if they do have dry powder. So like this sacrifice is going to probably raise half of what I thought it might raise initially, right? Just based on that. You can go buy the dip in Solana or Sui or whatever right now if you want. You don't need a Richard Hart sacrifice to probably get good returns, right? So I think this sets up potentially something very, very interesting. Because normally, you'd be competing against a billion OGs who've got massive hex or pulse X bags. Guys like Rackham who have like Saudis and Russians. You'd be competing against Godwell, and now what happens? Like none of those guys participate, or if they do participate, it's in a very muted way, right? And suddenly, this becomes very compelling. And yeah, I can't believe this is actually happening. I'm actually just like all the things that had to go wrong in order for us to get a sub 10 million RH sacrifice. Just think of all the things that had to go wrong in order for us to get here. It's beautiful if you think about it.
What is also interesting to me, just as like the host of this fun show that we do, this episode right now that we are on with this panel, I'm going to call it crypto coffee numbers, because we're blowing out our season high right now. We're like, I don't know, maybe we can get to 1,000 viewers on all platforms. We're already over like 600, well over it.
Wow.
And
awesome.
So take that with the most viewed happy hour of this season. I call this season like since September, versus like what Buck is saying. And I don't know. I don't even know what to think of that. Like the eyeballs are there. I really don't know what to think of that. So you clearly have a set of folks that are interested. I see a lot of OG names in the chat. They want to hear about it. Now that versus what has actually been sacrificed, kind of, it's an interesting juxtaposition there. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out and to say thank you to everybody across all platforms that's in the chat, being active right now and listening to this great conversation. I'll just credit Crypto Coffee's smiling face for the high ratings. He hasn't
I was going to say exactly the same thing. It's just because coffee's so handsome.
God. Stop it, you.
He's blushing, but
I'm blushing.
You brought up a couple interesting, sex of fault there, Buck. I'm trying to figure out which way I want to go with this. I guess we'll start with, your take on the SAC. I think I agree with you if what you're saying is, you kind of agree that, he did it the right way without, taking or accepting cores. I had people like DMing me and, with their disappointment or whatnot, because, that's what you said. Like, those are the assets that they have in crypto. And that's the easiest way for them to throw in and get a piece of this. But at the same time, it's just like, okay, well, if we keep the same whales, and whales aren't texting me, but some of the guys that you mentioned are one of them, that just recycle their capital and then are able to milk this new coin at the expense of the community, then what's the point? So with that said, Yash, what's your take on how the SAC rolled out? Do you, core coins versus outside coins? What are your thoughts on that? And then we'll go to coffee.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with him not using core coins in the SAC. Like, I saw everybody else get really mad really quickly. And usually that's a signal for me, like, okay, I need, if everybody's doing one thing.
The contrarian indicator, like Buck.
Right. Of course. It's like, it's such an easy one to just be like, these are the usual suspects that usually get upset and they're usually wrong. So, what are they missing here? So I was okay with that because of the reasons that you mentioned, where if somebody, Buck mentioned, where somebody with a huge bag that's illiquid, they would sack it, and then they would get a huge allocation of ProveX, and that would suck. So, I'm supportive of this. I think people are just upset that the prices are so low. There's guys that if the prices are higher, they'd be ecstatic, regardless of what the price of anything else and what was accepted or not. So it's really just a combination of everything that's going on all at once. But I like what Coffee said about reframing this conversation, and I think Buck is kind of doing that as well. With it's just about how you want to look at this and the overall situation. If you're going to be upset about it, like, okay, you don't have to sacrifice. Nobody's forcing you to do anything. You weren't going to sell anyway, so or if you were, why would you still be here? So, if you're not selling, what's the problem? You should have known what the expectations were for the past 2 years of down only. Like, what are you doing here? What I don't get it. So, either you have this like retarded conviction that a lot of us do that Richard is gonna come back to streaming. He's going to be full force like back in 2020 and 2021, or you think that this is all going to shit, in which case you should have sold a long time ago. So I don't know what to tell you. But
couldn't agree more.
Was that?
Sorry, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Aside from that, as far as the sack, like I'm going to be sacking. I haven't done anything yet. I just haven't decided how much. And I think Coffee said like he's going to kind of wait it out. I think he said he sacked a little bit, but he's also waiting it out. And I'm kind of in the same boat. I want to see if Richard comes out with, a white paper this weekend, or what happens until December 2nd. So there's interesting stuff, and I think Buck and Dylan have something to talk to about something they might be doing with the pool. But
what if, Yash, there were no additional details until after the rate goes up? How would you treat it?
So I actually responded to Richard, and I proposed that as a possible thing that he might want to do. Now that's not what I ideally want. I want to have all the alpha before somebody else gets it. But that would throw a curveball. I think that would cause a lot more cry fagging, to be honest. So it's a non-zero.
And at this point, let's just bring it on. That's how I'm at.
I'm okay with that. If that happens, I'll be fine with it, because I'm just overall not upset with. I mean, of course, everybody wants prices to be higher, but I'm just not. I'm not triggered right now. So.
On to coffee. I mean, I know you just said that you agreed a lot with what Yash said there, but any other thoughts on the SAC and cores versus not cores, and just your take?
Yeah, you could just do nothing. I mean, you really don't have to. You don't have to be here. No one's like gun to your head trying to make you sacrifice for anything. The only reason I probably will is just because I wouldn't want to feel stupid if this was a repeat of 2019, because this is, like Dylan was saying, it's got those eerie similarities of everybody's in maximum pain, maximum hate right now. It's crazy. I was there in 2019. Like, you could not find a single nice person. That's the whole reason I started making YouTube videos, was because I didn't see a single person talking about, hey, what if this Richard guy's not a scammer? Yep. And of course, now everyone's right back to calling him a scammer, but I have very strong reason to believe he's not. So,
and with you saying that, I always like to point out that I think you were the first guy I ever streamed with, and I know exactly what you're talking about. That sentiment that was back in the day, and it's just like, what's going on? We believed, and we were proven right ultimately, but it took some fortitude.
Yeah, and what was that redheaded chick that, like, all the mainstream influencers were just not. I mean, I remember Richard saying that he got kicked out of an influencer chat room. Like, they all turned on him because he was supposed to be a maxi guy, and like they were like offended. I mean, it is that tribal. So they just labeled him a scammer because he tried, like so many other people, to start their own project. Oh, yeah. And but here we are now. It's like you had all the people that got in at the top because it's kind of easier to believe in something after it's already gone up. Now we're right back down to square one. But I do feel very strongly that it's not that hard of a plan to imagine to inject liquidity when the time is right and when all the conditions line up, that history could repeat.
Dylan, you're going clockwise here. So your thoughts on the SAC cores versus no cores, the lack of information, perhaps there's game theory here or not. What is that mustache of yours telling you?
Well, I touched on it a little bit. I do
mustache
think that,
or the point?
Well, you know, both, I guess. You know.
Okay, thank you.
I have sex with men. That's what it says.
Wow, Buck, I didn't know that. You didn't have to broadcast that everywhere, but okay. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, I mentioned it earlier that, you know, it's kind of like a huge FU to the current whales that have been kind of offloading pretty much every day, right?
Milking. Yep.
Yeah, and we all know who they are. Come on, let's not beat around the bush. Anyway, the no details thing, that's a pretty interesting thought. I didn't even think that would be a possibility, but you know, hearing it now, if you really wanted to keep the valuation low, I mean, why not? You know, just why not? Fucking leave us in the dark.
Do you think we're getting a white paper, Dylan, in the next 2 weeks?
I would say, typical Richard, he would, but if he really wants to drive home the fact of like, fuck you,
do the Yash method and nothing.
Well, he did say he was writing pages of text, right?
Yes.
Sure.
And answering questions or considering questions. Yeah.
Sure.
He also said he would put it out in 2 days. So here we are.
And it hasn't happened yet. Yeah. So
I will gladly be
no white
preempted.
paper. No white paper. We might get like a page of text. That I think that loosely written with chat with.
Oh, it's a white tweet.
Oh, if it's ChatGPT slop, I mean, that would be really fucking hilarious, and it would kind of just go in line with, you know, what we're kind of going over here. I mean, listen, probability wise, I think it's likely that he would probably release the white paper, you know, of some sort, even if it's like, here, look, here's a placeholder. We got kind of some shit going on here, but you know, more details soon. Like, okay, I think there's a higher probability of that than nothing at all. But it would be really fucking hilarious if he just did nothing, honestly. And you know, the video thing, I mean, I hope we get a video. That'd be nice. Would it cause a dump in the cores and more in the SAC? I don't know.
That's an interesting point there.
Because like you would think if he streamed, it'd be like, oh my God, we're gonna pump, right? Like,
right, and that
is great.
Yeah, we've talked about this, I guess, for months now. You know, with him, you know, beating the SEC and you know him being more active on Twitter. It's like, man, you know, all RH has to do, at least this was the classic thinking, is say, should I do a live stream? And then price go up 3x, and then we're all happy and excited again. But that's an interesting point that you raised, because if he does that now, sure, we might get a bump or something like that. But then what is that ultimate reaction? Because, you know, perhaps as details come out, if this were to happen in the next, you know, few weeks before the 21-day deadline or whatever, do things get sold down? So it's something very interesting to think about. Indeed.
So something else to think about is if these large whales that are always dumping on us don't decide to dump more in terms of the cores to buy into the SAC, right? Then they won't have a position in this SAC or in this new token. So that could be advantageous for anybody that does SAC. And then the other side is if they do leave the cores to go into this new token, well, then the cores are in a better, I mean, we'd be much lower, but at least one huge whale or a couple would have capitulated, and that's a large amount of sell pressure that would be gone for a very long time.
Do you think they already did? Do you think any big hex guys like actually capitulated because of this so far?
I think Dylan's probably better suited to answer that question.
Oh yeah, do you kind of watch that stuff?
He just intuitive.
Dylan does, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mustache is dual purpose.
I
It
was
also
wondering if we
serves
actually
as
saw,
radar.
Any proof of like real big whale capitulations and like hex or pulse chain or something?
From
this
guy
specifically.
from this specifically,
Like from the
yeah. There's a couple guys that got rid of like 20 million, 40 million hex positions. I've seen a lot of traders right now.
Yeah, a lot of those guys are sitting in stables now, aren't they? Which would suggest, since they haven't bridged out, that they're hoping for maybe a further dip to buy back, which is a dangerous game to play.
Yes, I think that when the news came out, it was a lot of traders, and then some people were sacking, and you can kind of tell that by the outflows just weren't there to match the sacrifices that were happening. You know, like so. I don't think it was people thinking, oh, I have to sell because I think other people are going to sell. You know what I mean? And then there's people that just sold because they're pissed. Whale wise, I saw some wallets sell a bunch of shit coins that they had and then into stables, presumably to sack. They didn't sell any of their ink. But, you know, I haven't really seen any huge capitulations comparable to after we all know the one wallet where they sold a bunch of Pulse on East Side via MetaMask swap, right? We remember that wallet,
Yeah.
and then he sold the Pulse X on the Hex in the same like month as well. Like we haven't seen any of that yet, right? That was pretty big. That was pretty bad. I've seen a lot of like medium-sized guys, you know, dolphins, stuff like that. I don't think I've seen any sharks or anything like that. But yeah, and then a lot of traders. That's what I've seen. So
cool. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I got to get going, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, there, trivia winner, sir. Good to see you, man.
See you,
yeah, very much appreciate it.
See you later, Coffee.
Later, guys.
All right, and then there were three looking the exact same way at Buck. So
stop staring at me, guys.
Batteries low.
We someone in this conversation kind of perhaps teased on like a valuation or SAC total reference. And before I get in there, for those traditional market fans out there, Berkshire Hathaway, after the bell, announced a 4.3 billion with a B position in Google or Alphabet. So anyway, moving on. I thought that was notable. So yeah, talking valuation, Buck, you had put some thoughts out there as to kind of like what you would like to see, and this was on your and Dylan's Spaces the other day, I think, or kind of what would be too much of a sack to be like, okay, this is getting ridiculous, kind of like the Pulse Chain, Pulse X, or man, it only, we're at day 21 and it's like below 20 million, 10 million, something like that. I find the 10 million figure hard to believe. I think we'll get past that if caveat RH appears and explains more details. But what is your thinking on dollar amounts sacked? Like what's good, what's bad? What would your ideal scenario be for end of sack amount?
Yeah, so basically the lower the better is my view. Probably before today, I probably would have guessed like 50 million would be where we'd end up, and that to me would be on the high side. But I think with just markets blowing up in general now, like it's going to be really hard for people to justify sacking for this, because you can go buy a whole bunch of other stuff dirt cheap now too. And it also, like, if you're thinking rationally about it, you may go, well, fuck this, the bull market might be over. So, do I really want to go out into weird altcoin territory and, be illiquid for, an unknown amount of time with ProveX, right? So there is a bit of risk, quite a bit of risk there. Yeah, so I'm thinking anything below 10 million is probably great. But it's probably not, it's probably going to be more than 10 million, I presume. I think there is a lot of people lurking. There are a lot of people lurking right now, as you alluded to, like despite the fact that everybody's really angry and pissed off, like we've had very good, well attended Twitter Spaces. We had one with like 500 people at one point. So that's
we are over
well
700 right now, and we are hitting new highs without coffee. So perhaps it's the mustache from Dylan down there.
Dylan, you go, girl. So
what can I say?
So people are paying attention to this a little bit, but obviously there's no good reason to sack yet. So they're being rational and not sacking. So I think there still is quite a bit of pent up demand. But yeah, the kind of key thing that I would like to say, and I'm not precisely trying to shill my thing here yet, but is that this sacrifice, one thing Richard hasn't changed is that it still has the volume bonus. And in fact, the volume bonus is much higher this time. It went from 2.5 to 3x. So if you are considering this at all, you really need to weigh that into your decision-making process, because if you do not get the volume bonus, you're going to be at a massive disadvantage. So that is kind of one thing. The only thing that I would change about what Richard's doing right now is that volume bonus, right? I'm not a fan of the volume bonus, but for whatever reason he thinks it's a good idea. So you need to get the volume bonus, fellas, if you're gonna try this. That's my opinion on that.
Any other thoughts, Yash or Dylan, on no expectations, but hey, predictions for sack amount for fun, obviously.
Yeah,
not financial advice.
Initially, I didn't think it was even going to get to wherever we're at, like $1 million right now. I mean, in the end, I knew we'd get past $1 million, but I really didn't even think we'd get to $1 million as quick as we did, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I just
okay.
I didn't. So now that we're here, I think 15 to 20 isn't too far away. I think that's doable. I'd be surprised, if it went much higher, but it could. I don't know. Something like this, I would probably update my views on a day-by-day basis. It's without having much information on what we're doing. If any information comes out, I think it changes the odds quite drastically. So
yeah, 100%. Dylan, thoughts on possible amounts as your mustache power is depleting before our eyes?
Well, Buck and I have debated this a couple times now, and I have been under the impression that I think he'll probably get the sweet spot between 5 to 10. And Buck was very optimistic, saying 50 on the upper end, and I was like, dude, there's no fucking way, especially now with no cores, right? Like before with the cores, easily could have seen
everything's possible.
Maybe,
everything's possible, of course.
Yeah, easily could have seen like 100 million or some stupid number, right? But this, I don't think the community has it, or he's not even pushing the market, like the marketing push. He's not even doing that, you know. So I think the sweet spot is probably in that 7 to 8. You know, maybe he touches 10, but I don't know. So I think around that area, I'd say I'm pretty confident with those numbers. So that's my guess: 7, 8, maybe 10.
Yeah.
All right.
But I think after the sell off today, like you can almost have your expectations, right? Because that really kills people's ability to sack, right?
So you think that the action today, like charts are broken for long enough that they're not going to recover in time in the next few weeks for people to have enough confidence to have, yeah.
They can't sell their Solana right now because it's cheap. They can't sell their Bitcoin right now because it's cheap. They can't sell their Ethereum. So it's like, how much stables were they holding? And, you know, if they do have stables, they have other options, right? So, you know, I was saying, I think it could get up to 50 to Dylan, you know, the other day. Like, because of that, I'm thinking, you know, 25, it's probably closer to 25 than 50 is my guess right now. So sorry, you go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, all good. I was gonna kind of just move, I guess, parallel to this discussion, but I wanted to bring up Mango Junkie, longtime viewer. I can't believe you guys think this is going to get more than a couple mil. I mean, we're already at a mil, and if you know my 8-figure guess is dependent upon our H at least doing a pre-recorded video. The parallel point I wanted to bring up regarding the SAC is I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on RH, or maybe not RH. We'll just call an OA entity coming in at the very end of the SAC period. Do you think that this plays out similar to previous sacrifices? What are the pros and cons of such a thing? Who wants it? By the way, we are over 800 viewers across all platforms. You guys rock. Let's just get it to 1,000. Coffee, I thought it was you. It's definitely the stash from Dylan. But nice smile there, by the way. Lip curl. What are our thoughts on an OA entity coming in for the final move in ProveX?
I think it's quite likely. I mean, I don't see any evidence to suggest otherwise. You know, why would Richard launch a coin and then not try to get, you know, most of the supply? Or sorry, not Richard, but an OA figure come in and get most of the supply for.
And would that be miraculously tornadoed in ETH?
That would be convenient, you know, given that you know, there was another entity that did tornado a lot of their money going in. We don't know where it came out to, right? Or if it's come out yet. I don't know. But it would be convenient. I don't know if they would necessarily have to go in with all of that. You know, they would just have to go, you know, gauge how much is already in there and then make sure they do whatever, 10 times more.
Dylan?
I think he structured it the same way. So like what there's, let me look right here. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. He's got 5 days to resend in, or presumably to send in the Tornado Cash ETH. However, I mean, it really doesn't make sense for him to, like, okay, so you mix a bunch of ETH, right? And then you pay the fees for all that stuff. And you resend it back to yourself. Or, you know, somebody sends it, you know, somebody sends a bunch of ETH to it at the very end, and you just reallocate it back into the same thing. Maybe it'll just be proportionality. So like, you know, maybe if there's, I don't know, 5 million raised, he puts in $50 million, right? So he has the 90% or whatever. I mean, if he really cared about outside perspective, maybe he wouldn't do that. You know, but knowing Richard, he likes the centralized holdings and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I don't see him taking the whole bag and just shoving it in here. Like it's like
And
overkill.
really, the lower the SAC total is, the less amount would you expect to come in.
Because you don't need to like jam your shit in there. You know what I mean? Like you can just okay, well, it's 5 mil, I'll do 10, or it's 5 mil, I'll do 50 or whatever, which is pretty easy for him. So.
I'll propose a similar question to Buck, but in a different way. If you, Buck, were running a clone sacrifice for ProveX, and let's just say there's 15 million kind of at the end of the SAC window, what would you do?
So I would probably
you somehow had wallets with lots of fun things in them that were worth, nice amounts.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's already shown his hand. Like, I don't think it matters, to be honest. Like, I don't understand his obsession with controlling supply if he can't really sell it or use it because it's obvious, right? If I were Richard and I were super Machiavellian and clever, I want to be putting small amounts into the sacrifice that I could actually potentially sell at the right time. But that doesn't appear to be what he's doing. But that's what I would do if I were Machiavellian Richard. Because it's useful, actually. Like, I know you guys are probably, some of you probably don't understand what I mean there. Sometimes your coin might be overpriced. Sometimes your coin might be underpriced. It's good to be able to pull both levers, right? So yeah, hopefully you guys understand what I mean there. I think it's just wonderfully ironic that him tornadoing the ETH got everybody fucking panicking that he's rugging, and that he's in a basement in Murmansk. I mean, even Eric Wall, tweeting about how oh, I think he got hacked. That's what
he's
actually
being held
happened.
hostage or something, or
yeah, he's in a basement in Murmansk, and Russian guys are making him do this sacrifice.
They have set up the SAC address themselves, and perhaps ex-wives. Money is being anyway. Sorry.
I mean, that had a massive chilling effect on this, and it's just like, as I said earlier, it's like, think of all the things that had to go wrong to get us to so little money raised so far. I mean, it's actually quite astonishing. This is like, that like Final Destination movie where, like one bad thing happens after another, right? Like, it's just an amazing chain reaction of terrible things to get all these diehard Richard Hart supporters.
As a community, we're like literally waiting for the next bad shoe to drop because we know it's coming.
Yeah, it's actually pretty amazing, and everybody's so fearful, yet there's more people than usual, that are listening to this, and a lot of them are angry because they don't have any money, right, to put into this, and a lot of them are angry because they're whales that do have money, but it's in illiquid positions, and they're not eligible. But I think you have to sit outside you have to try to imagine yourself outside of your bag and just go, is this a rational decision or not? Right. And I'm not saying it is, I don't know yet. But I think that's the kind of key, thing that you have to do investment. You have to not worry about the past and just look at the situation prospectively. And, prospectively, this is in my opinion, this is a much more interesting sacrifice than Pulse X or Pulse ever was.
just the gamification and the events surrounding the lead up to the entire thing is totally different. Like everybody was, flush with crypto in dollar terms the last couple sacks, and just like willy-nilly. I mean, for goodness sake, we had like liquid loans get like tens of millions, and other protocol. I mean, pick one. I mean, it could very likely be more subscribed than this ProveX SAC could be. So yeah, it's crazy to think about. Where was I going? So do we think, odds, Yash, do we see a recorded or live stream? I'm betting against a live stream, but do we see an RH video of some sort before the 21-day window closes?
If I had to bet right now, I would say yes, because he did allude to it. And if he wasn't going to do a video, then and he wanted to surprise us, then I don't know, he could have just not said anything about that. But a lot of people have been giving him a bunch of crap about it too, like every day, nonstop, about doing a video. So yeah, I think he will. I think he will. I think he probably will come out with a white paper before the end of that phase.
Dylan?
I am trying to plug in my camera for you guys.
All right. Well, we can talk to Buck and get his take on that while you rearrange things.
Okay, appreciate that.
All right. Yeah, no problem. Of course, I can't tell what you're doing. So Buck would, say you're jerking it if we were on a Spaces, but he'll probably say you're doing that now as well.
You're not confirm or deny?
Yeah, Buck. Same question I posed to Yash there.
Yeah, can you repeat the question? I was jerking it.
Well, crap. What was the question? The question was.
You were jerking it too.
I was on screen. Oh wait, you couldn't see my hands.
Hands in the air, please. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, now I'm discombobulated. Yash, what did I ask you about the?
You asked me about if he was going to put out a video or stream.
Will we get an RH video before the 21-day window closes? 900 fam, by the way. I never say this, but let's just do 1,000 across all platforms. It's just going up as I'm talking. So maybe it's not Dylan's mustache. Perhaps it's Comrade Yash over there. Do the things that the algorithms like. Retweet on the X, like it on the YouTubes, and share links in the Telegrams and the socials. And we're rocketing towards 1,000. All right, sorry, Buck. I had to promo. We are just locked and loaded here tonight. This is awesome. Go ahead.
So I think it's unlikely he's going to be doing like full-blown streaming or anything like that. He's not going to be doing the rounds on YouTube. I don't think those guys would necessarily want him to promote a sacrifice on those channels. As compelling and interesting as a guest as he would be to have, it's probably not an option to him. I don't suspect he wants to answer hard questions about any of this because it just sounds so fucking crazy. We'll probably get some sort of proof of life style video where he'll be sitting in a chair in a basement, saying that
with a black screen behind him.
Yeah, with a black screen that says, like, "Hey kids, Richard Hart here."
Richard Hart here.
Like proof of what? I don't even know what the thing is. What are we sacrificing for? Proof of
life right now.
Yeah, proof of life. Well, whatever. It'll be like his usual thing. I think we're gonna get that. It'll be underwhelming. At least this is what I'm hoping. I really don't want you guys to sacrifice. You see, right? on the one
talking it down.
On one hand, like I'm telling you guys, I think there's potentially going to be a really good opportunity here. On the other hand, I'd really appreciate it if you guys don't sacrifice. But if you do have to sacrifice, please do so through my sack pool. But yeah, that's sort of what I think. It's unlikely he's gonna probably come and do a lot of marketing. There's not enough time. It's not worth the energy. Like I think the die is already cast here. Les jeux sont faits, as the French would say.
Les jeux sont faits.
Les jeux sont faits.
Where was I going next with that? Everyone's broke buck, LOL. I mean, that helps too. If you're wanting a lower sack rate. So
yeah, we're all hurting quite a bit more than we expected. So yeah, that's absolutely right. It's super fortuitous, and Richard's basically told us the one thing he's going to accept effectively is the thing that you're probably wishing you had more of right now, which is stable coins, right? Like this is basically a stable coin in Ethereum sack, right? I mean, all the other coins are going to be rounding errors. So it's pretty much it's going to be exceptionally difficult. And like, I'll warn you, if you're putting your money into the sacrifice, like you have no indicator, as far as I'm aware right now, of how far away you are from getting this coin. Right? We don't know if this product exists, if it's finished, or if it's still an idea, if he even has a dev working on it. We have literally no idea.
If the founder is even being held hostage, and it's even him putting out all
the
this.
Guy, he could be in a basement in Murmansk. He could just actually have completely lost the plot and like gone full Kanye, right? I don't think that's those two scenarios are likely,
right?
But like it's unknowable currently, right? That's the reality. And people still put $1 million into this. It's actually kind of amazing.
So you're a little surprised at the $1 million right now.
No, I mean, I'm not surprised that some people just aped anyway, but it's like there's no reason to go in, and you've been given no information, and so that's why I think I'm right and Dylan's wrong. I think it's going to be higher than 5 million, but I do hope Dylan's right. I would like him to be right about something for once, because that would be great.
What say you, Dylan?
Bear with me, guys. So, wow, that threw me off. Yeah, I hope you guys don't sack. I guess, yeah. I forgot the question because I've got another camera up here, and my girlfriend is just so lovely for helping me. But
is that the one she uses for OnlyFans that you switched to?
No, absolutely not. Yeah, I think I've said it a couple times. I'm glad the valuation is low as it is right now. People are hurting for money, and I think this thing has legs, 100%. So, but if you want to reiterate your question, Cabana, I'll gladly answer it. So,
I don't even remember what that question was because it was so long ago.
We're all just,
just
cranking it.
I remember like the one before I asked Buck, but anyway, we're closing in on 950 now, 50 away from 1,000 across all platforms. You guys rock. Keep liking, sharing, all that stuff. Super Hex OG, another OG in the chat. Imagine Richard gives all the juicy info after the rate starts increasing. So this has kind of been thrown around here. That would be very interesting and would play perfectly into the wishes of perhaps one or more people on this panel.
It could drive a lot of FOMO. So if it is good, like let's take the assumption that if he does wait until after the rate starts increasing, and by some miracle maybe Richard actually has an innovative product that could be adopted by large banks or just crypto in general, or some crypto channel will say something nice about him. If that happens and Richard doesn't, then it would drive a lot of FOMO. It'd be a fun experiment to see how it plays out.
I would love it if the tap dancing began in earnest after that rate drops significantly. I would love it if Richard came out like who was that?
Like with
Looney
5
Tunes
days
frog?
left or something.
With that Looney Tunes frog, the hello my baby, hello my darling.
Yeah.
Arthur C. Frog, I think it was called. If he just like suddenly came back and a whole bunch of people have to suddenly eat a much worse rate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that would be quite a funny thing because basically what I think this is it's sort of a bit of a test. It's like, and it's not even a test. It's basically a few. If this goes the bull case way, and I don't know if it's bull case or Jonestown, but a few people will benefit a lot from seeing through this subterfuge that we currently have. They'll benefit a lot from it, and he gets to use their success as the advertisement for, hey, look, I'm Richard Hart, and I made a very successful sacrifice this time. Gee, I guess market cap isn't a vanity metric after all. And but look how successful we've been. And yeah, Pulse and PulseX raised money at a time that was probably a little bit too frothy, and that hasn't worked out as well. However, look at my next thing; it did very, very well, and we're still building, and the whole story continues, right? It gives him something that he can go to the world and brag about again, even if the success is a relatively small success. It's still something that he can brag about. And I literally think that's what the purpose of this is. It's a way to get a little bit of redemption and reset the narrative for the whole world that actually I'm still working on this. I'm still a good guy, and I've just made these people a bunch of money, right? And I think that I'm hoping that's what can happen here. But yeah, it's still a big question mark. This may just all be my fantasy, right? But I mean, I think the way I see it, this is the simplest explanation for why he's doing things the way he's doing them. Because he could have raised a lot more money doing it other ways if it was just about getting cash. This isn't enough money for him to get out of his super king size bed, right? Like, it's not worth the energy for him, right? And it's probably destroyed more value that he probably could have siphoned than if he really wanted cash. Like, he could have just sold some of his pulls and probably dropped the price less than doing this sacrifice. Like, you know what I mean? He could have sold some of his hacks. We wouldn't even have noticed. Instead, he's probably actually hurt his ability to extract value, quote unquote, by doing this, at least temporarily. So the whole cash grab idea doesn't make any sense to me. And yeah, so I think this is just purely about him having something to prove. Richard is Mr. Prove right now, and that's why we got ProveX.
So there should have been like a Red Bull can in the Mr. Prove original concept art. Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
few more points got brought up, and we are less than 20 away from breaking 1,000. These are like this is more viewers total than when actually Richard was on the show years ago. So
what? Really?
Well, I mean, we were, a small growing channel back then.
Okay.
And
Jeez, Cabana.
credit to you boys. Just credit to y'all. So cheers to you.
Cheers.
Yash. You put a question that someone asked you in the chat. You want me to bring that up?
Yeah.
So you said, someone has asked, and I believe like I've heard this in spaces and seen it on other socials, who's going to buy, this coin after it launches? What would you respond? How would you respond to that?
Well, some of the things that Richard's alluded to for this token, the tokenomics, could be like a buy and burn, a fixed supply to start off with. So assuming that this protocol launches and we have and it gets use case, the protocol would be doing the buy and burn through people using it. Outside of that, I've heard a lot of people just say that because they went through the Pulse and PulseX experience of sacking, and then everything launches and everything just down for 2 years, that they're just going to wait to buy the dip. And if everybody's thinking that, well, I'll just wait for this thing to launch and I'll just buy the dip. I mean, quite literally, everybody has said that to me. Nobody has said like that they want to get in. There's no FOMO right now, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
I've seen some good posts from some OGs in Hex and Pulse Chain across X, echoing what you're kind of saying. It's just like, well, just look at the last few sacrifices or couple sacrifices and look at the action. There's no way I'm getting in on this one. I'm just going to wait and buy the dip because it's that easy.
Yeah. I mean, last time, we had billions of dollars sacked and people thought that Pulse was going to go to a penny. And it's just like, yeah. What
I mean, I was mocking those projections too, but yeah, I remember them.
I'm saying like people literally believe this stuff. Even, as of a few weeks ago, I'm sure you could find somebody in the community that still thinks Pulse is going to go to a penny. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how it'll play out. It'll probably be some dip at some point, but I just find that interesting. So, we'll have to learn more about the protocol when he releases it. But if there is some buy and burn function and there's just a low valuation, yeah, I'm sure we get a dip, but is it going to be 99% down like we've seen, or is it just going to be 50 and then people still hold out or thinking it'll go lower? I don't know.
99% dip is $1,000 market cap, bro. At the current at the current valuation, that would be pretty cheap. Richard could probably pump that one. I would think. I think Cabana. It doesn't really matter. It's going to be bonded, I imagine, relatively thickly to Pulse, and it's going to just find its relative value to that. Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like Dylan was telling me Ink's like it got an $88 million market cap. Right. Ink doesn't do anything.
$50 million market cap doesn't do shit. Yeah.
$50 million market cap. Yeah, the yield was drastically cut a while back as well. Speaking of yield and coins, Yash, I wanted to bring this up and maybe just get you a little expoundy on this. And as I'm talking to Yash, I'm going to say 1,000 plus viewers across all platforms. So I'm going to say, Yash, thank you for being the reason. And Dylan's mustache. And of course, Buck. And they probably saw Crypto Coffee's name in the marquee. What was I going to ask you? Oh, you had made in regards to whales, basically milking PulseX, Pulse Chain, pick a coin that we can all see on chain that this has happened to, altering gasp Hart's law and pairing the liquidities of some of them with that aren't each other. Could you take us through that, because I thought that was rather interesting, and a radical approach to doing things compared to how they are done here in the RH ecosystem.
So wait, are you just talking about eHex?
I thought you were referring to pairing things with, like, I thought you mentioned like Ethereum or something like that. Maybe not. I thought it was like some of the cores, like Pulse with like wrapped ETH or something like that. Maybe I misread it.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm playing catch up on this. Okay. Yeah. No, I remember what you're talking about now. I said, maybe Richard might want to consider changing up the liquidity pairs, or whoever owns the majority of those liquidity.
Yes, that's
that maybe there's some experiments to be done where Hex is not tied to Pulse and PulseX. It's tied to Ethereum's price performance, and Ethereum doesn't dump as hard. I mean, it dumps pretty hard right now, but all things considered, it doesn't dump as hard as Pulse Chain. So, maybe there's some experiments to play there. I think maybe I think he's aware of this. Maybe he's just waiting for an opportunity. Right now probably isn't the time to do it either. But I would hope, in the way that he pivoted from allowing there to be lots of yield in the ecosystem, through cutting the ink inflation, cutting hex and hex yield. I think that's just another trick that could be played, another supply side, trick. It doesn't cure the demand problem, but it's something, and it's considerably better than Pulse and PulseX, or being tied to Pulse and PulseX.
Any thoughts on that, Dylan? I know I'm catching you off guard with it, but just off the cuff there, what Yash is saying about altering Hart's law. Gasp.
As far as him tying Mr. Prove to things, are we discussing
Well,
that?
I think it stemmed from maybe Pulse and PulseX originally. Like that, I think that's what Yash originally brought up. But sure, I mean, you could include pick your coin, but ones that certain whales just milk into oblivion. And how can you counteract that creatively, even though we don't like laws to be broken in this community? Some people don't.
I think it really goes to show you the resilience that we have, like right now, right? Like these guys, maybe they're selling at a loss, maybe they're not, but man, do they take forever, and I'm not sure there's really a way other than literally just using real money as just a V3 bid wall to kind of buy these guys out. Like that would be probably the most efficient way. You kind of just set a floor and you say, okay, this is the price that I'm willing to buy you out. And you kind of chalk it up as a business expense. And I really think that that's probably your best bet, really, is because like if you're just, moving the money around in the liquidity pools and this and that, I mean, sure, you can play the games, but then you're just trading between the two, right? You're not really getting rid of the problem. If you just offer, okay, I'm going to buy you at this price, and that's your write-off to actually get this thing going, and you kind of just take one on the chin, I think that's probably the best bet, right? The Mr. Proof thing, maybe that's a way, like like I might have said earlier, that can also change the paradigm of the ecosystem, so that these people can start getting greedy again, right? So like if Mr. Proof moves really well, then the optics of like what we're in is not like, oh well, he's washed up. Well, he just showed you, like, dude, this is some real gains. Look what happens when you don't have these retards, assholes, dumping down on me. Look, we actually do really well, you know, and maybe that will also contribute to these guys getting greedy again, perhaps. But I think if we didn't have the misproof thing, the best thing to do would just be, you know, a bid wall, which he did do that on Hex, by the way. If you didn't know, there was a what was it called, Bamboo Relay or something like this. He had bid orders, right, for like it was like 50 ETH bid orders, and there was like 20 of them or some shit, right, at a certain price, and he set the floor.
If I recall, might have been 18 cents, and a certain whale just sold.
Well, no,
sold.
that was
okay.
No, this was before all that. This was before we had the top. Yeah. No. This is before that. This is like
I'm talking the magic line, but yeah, you're talking okay.
Oh yeah, no. This
I got you.
This is sub penny, right?
Yep,
This was below a penny. Obviously those got blown out or they expired. One of the two. I don't remember. Or the ETH left the wallet. I don't know. But there was bid orders that you could see back in the day on Bamboo Relay, which doesn't exist anymore. There was bid orders that you could see on metric.exchange, which doesn't exist anymore. These were on-chain ones on the 0x order book. And, you know, he did it back in the day. He could probably do it again. Even if he had a private program like, you know, limit orders that he only built or something like this, he ran the bots or whatever. You know, you could set a floor here, right? Or wherever you see fit, and just essentially incentivize these guys. Okay, they want to get out, probably, right? And if you give them a halfway decent price, they might take it, right? They might just take the deal. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's my guess. So yeah, yep, you have the ability to. So yeah, that's my take. I don't think moving the precise moving all that shit around and all that stuff, like I don't think that's really gonna do anything, to be honest.
Yeah, actually probably wouldn't work, because if you just tied like Hex to ETH, then they're just going to get more ETH when they sell. So a limit order would obviously be better way to do it.
Nice. I hear limit orders are coming to Pulse Chain.
So, here, ProveX is coming to Pulse Chain.
Yeah. Well, I know we're all big fans of Proteus, but I've been using the switch.win aggregator a little bit, testing it out, and I'm just gonna say prices are pretty darn good over there. So check it out, give it a ride, community. Rags, that's to riches. His guys build a lot of stuff, but that's definitely something to check out. Just thought I'd throw that in there because we mentioned limit orders, and I think they're coming there. So we're wrapping up the sacrifice conversation. I hate to ask this, but I have to because it's such an entertaining conversation. Two-parter. Do you think there will be more sacrifices after this one? And if the answer is yes, what could it be for? Who wants it?
Ooh,
I'll take it.
Yeah.
So the answer is yes. And,
of course.
Shameless incidents.
Yes, the answer is yes, and I have no idea what it's for, and I don't really care. But it's in a world where Richard doesn't want to keep going, that would actually make me really worried, because that would say that he's not hungry and he doesn't care. Like, you know, he's got enough money from us with PulseX and Pulse and Hex. He doesn't have to care. He can go live in Puerto Rico with Big K and just eat daiquiris and Barbies the rest of his life, right? If he wants to. So it's very good that the gears are still turning. So yeah, I don't know what it'll be, but yeah, I think more things are coming for sure down the line.
Nice. Yash, Dylan, any thoughts?
I mean,
sacrifices. Any
What was
more?
the question? I forgot.
Any more sacrifices? And if so, what would it be for? Possibly, obviously speculation, but that's what we're here for.
I don't know. I guess it's possible, but I think he just, well, Buck said, he just needs one good win. I don't think he needs to do a bunch of sacrifices one after the other. Like it's chaotic enough. And if this one works out in whatever plan he has, more power to him. Yeah, he doesn't need the money. And so I am glad that he's actually doing this, and this is something that people kind of are overlooking. Is like Richard was very quiet a few months ago. You know, he would have a tweet every now and then, but now he's tweeting constantly and replying to other people and replying to our community, blocking people and doing all sorts of stuff. So, you know,
RIP to those who have been blocked, even OGs.
lots of
Nobody
OGs.
is safe. Yeah.
So I, you know, in Richard's own way, that's a good sign. So I don't think he needs to do more sacrifices unless he's got some like new killer app, you know, which we'll see how far this protocol goes first.
You said he doesn't need to.
No,
But do you think?
I don't know what it would be for. I think a narrative in crypto is privacy right now with Zcash. There's like Monero has been talked about a lot right now, Xano and a bunch of others. So if he was to do something more privacy focused, that's something I would be interested in because that's something as like a crypto OG, that's something I've always valued. So yeah, I don't. That's something I would sack for, and I know that aligns with a lot of his beliefs. So that's something I would guess.
I'd love to see a RH privacy coin and Tornado Cash style fork. I think that would just be like how do we put a bigger target on his big ass? Like but yeah, I think you're probably right, Yash.
Dylan?
I mean, I could see it, but is it really necessary? Not really. But it like okay.
I mean, we don't know what it could be for. I mean, the question, I guess, the first part was, you know, do you think there will be one? I'm agree with Buck. Yeah, there's got to be. I mean, if the guy is constantly innovating or wants to, you know, get the glory that, you know, he says he seeks, I think it would, you know, like Buck said, I think it would be a bad sign if, you know, things just stopped. And
yeah,
but
I think if he pulls it off, like if we actually have some good success, he could definitely
you need a dub. You need a win here.
Gotta have a win, and then he could run a sacrifice and actually do well. But without that, it'll probably like, especially if this ProveX shit goes belly up.
Yeah,
luck,
that's a big thing there. Yep.
You know what I mean? So we'll see. I mean, he definitely could. He might, but I think it depends on like probably this moment right now is very important for that. So, you know, if he doesn't pull this off, I don't think he'll ever be able to do it again, honestly. But it's my take.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the one big thing, other than doing like the tablets, which we don't ever hear about anymore. This is the one thing that that he'll be known for is running another sacrifice and failing. Yep. It won't be good.
Three strikes are out. I mean,
pretty much.
If you miss on if you swing and miss on this one, like doing the next one is going to be so awesome.
Jesus.
It's like, hey guys, I'm back.
Let's milk her again.
Richard Hart here.
Yeah. Hello, cell pressure.
Hello, cell pressure.
If you can't make something with a $10 million market cap do good, you know, RH, then, you know, geez, the next one, like, I don't know what you have to do, right? Like,
open an OnlyFans at that point, call it a day.
It'll be, the fourth one will be pretty grim, but that might be the one that really makes it. So I don't know.
I got a couple questions in the chat, and we can stop right here with the viewership, even though I don't want you to. But 1,069. If that was the top, so be it. Cheers to everybody out there tuning in. A couple questions in the chat, and I had some one more here I wanted to get to. If you all have the time, let me know if you don't. But I mean, we have a huge audience for a buy the lows at Hex and Pulse Chain and whatnot stream here. So I just think this is incredibly intriguing. I'll put it that way. Also did a poll in the YouTube chat. What year will ProveX launch? 7% said this year, even though the SAC does not end until January. Maybe somehow you're right. Next was 18%. Never. Nothing's launching. I'm a cryfag. 2027, 2 years out, 21%, and the overwhelming what year will ProveX launch? Answer 2026, next year, 54%. So thank you to everybody who voted on that one. Like I said, I want to get to a couple of questions here in the chat. Dewey Scum, what do we think the sacrifices is for? Like legit money or awareness? I mean, I guess you might be new here. Is it cloud or a scam? Is this thing necessary? I mean, yeah, pretty much awareness. Perhaps, I mean, pick your reason. You could say dev cost, dev do something. You could say whatever else you want to. Clout, no, I definitely don't think it's a scam. New users, if it's not from the existing chain that said platform will be built on, especially in this case because cores are not accepted. So you could throw a bunch of reasons at that. Any other quick takes on that?
I like your profile pic, Dewey Scum.
And that's Buck's feedback. On to an OG. Good to see you, Blue Bomb. If he only launches ProveX, I'm assuming, Blue Bomb, if ProveX is only launched on Pulse, where do the new users come from? I'm guessing. I'm inserting some clarification words in there, Blue Bomb, but any takes on that, Dylan?
I will hit you with another question. If it's on ETH, where is the user acquisition anyway? Whether or not it's on ETH, Solana, Pulse Chain, you still got to do user acquisition, right? So, or client acquisition. And maybe it'll be with everything, right? And then the fee thing will just be on Pulse, right? Because I'm assuming you'll be able to buy Solana or sell Solana. Oh, this one died too. Or Pulse or whatever.
Ratings are going to tank now. Can't see the mustache anymore.
So, I mean, you still got to do user acquisition no matter where it is. So that's still a hurdle to be seen, I would say. But, it doesn't necessarily have to be on anything in particular the way it looks right now, but still user acquisition anyways.
Yeah, I mean, if the token is on Pulse Chain, but the protocol can work, across platforms, then multi-chain, then I don't, I think that's fine,
I mean, that's one of the few things we actually do know, right? Because he's been tweeting hey, we're gonna, it was some weird, was it Zcash? It was like Zcash will work on ProveX, or something like that. Like he's gonna basically allow you to come from anywhere. I think that's his innovation, to be honest. It's OTC direct to Pulse Chain, right? From all the major chains that he's supporting. Hype. Dylan, if you remember, if any of you guys remember what he said, but it's like Hype, Solana. You just look at the coins that he's accepting for sacrifice. That's where it's going to be. right? Because he needs to have supply in all of those in order to manage that.
Yep.
So that's the simplest answer for that is to accept coins from all the networks that you want to target for your OTC product. In my opinion.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to the previous question of the guy's profile picture that you so wonderfully liked there, Buck, is like the reason for it. Well, you kind of spelled a really nice one out. It's, look at what's being accepted and not course and other chains, eyeballs from other chains. People are going to be, watching to see what their sack bags get, if anything. No expectations, LOL. But yeah. The last topic of the evening, as we close in on 1,100 viewers across all platforms. I just call this one the Great Marketing Debate. RH put out a tweet, I believe it was earlier today, and basically, let me read it. $5,000 prize. Want to get all your guys' takes on this. Winner selected in 8 hours. Don't know if one has been selected. Chat, tell me, or if you guys know, tell me. If you were putting $1 million into marketing, where would you put it? I believe I saw one or two of your answers in the chat, but I'd like you to expound on those if you can. Then, of course, in typical RH fashion, yes, all your ideas are going to suck. But hey, maybe there's a good one. Probably not, though. LOL. Operated and paid for by an anonymous donor. So, Bare Naked Ladies, if I had $1 million song, how would Yash go about it? We'll just go around the room. And I don't know if you I think you're on mute, Yash, but if you did reply, I might have missed that one. I think I saw Bucks, but what would you say, or what did you say?
I didn't see that tweet actually. I'm kind of like a pretty bad hexagon. It seems like I lost trivia right away, and
that's why you went out of trivia right away. Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, Coffee and Buck are like reading the entire timeline today. But anyway,
yeah, I would probably buy tablets, with a magnet on the back and ship those out.
Oh, okay.
No.
Thanks. Postcards. Lots of them.
Postcards too, yeah. Maybe those.
Maybe greeting cards for the holidays.
With like that animal creature thing that he had, the monkey riding that.
Oh yeah, season's greetings.
Season's greetings. Oh man, that would be outstanding. I just want to make 10 of them and send them to Hexagon friends of mine.
Yeah.
They'd be collector's items one day. But yeah, go ahead.
Marketing. I don't know. What usually works in crypto spaces is that it's just like getting on streams with other people, to be honest. Like, it sounds like such a dumb thing, but it's like really free to do that. What he's done in the past is he did a TV ad at like 11:30 p.m. Eastern time, or like I don't know if you guys saw that ad that he put out.
Oh yeah.
In the early X days, like, oh my god, it was such a scammy ad, but
it could buy like 5 seconds of a Super Bowl ad, maybe. So.
Yeah, probably just flash Hex on it or something, and hex.com.
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not the marketing guy. For somebody that the tablets weren't successful, so for him to talk like that in that tweet is just, it's typical Richard, but dude.
Suboptimal.
Yeah.
I know, what some people in the X universe and socials will say. Just buy $1 million of Hex, Richard. But free candles, or the best marketing. But yeah, anyway, Buck, I believe I saw at least one of your responses. It might have been the only one, but care to say how, if you had a marketing budget of $1 million, how would you use it?
Yeah, so I under his tweet I wrote calls.
Calls.
But yeah, but I don't think
you might have to explain that to the
it's the key opinion, whatever. It's
leaders.
The influencers.
Yes.
Yeah, leaders. Yeah. But basically go bribe everybody. But what I would really like them to do instead of that, or in addition to that, is you take 500K and you buy a membership to Mar-a-Lago, and you go and you sit your ass there, and you donate 500K to the Republican midterm lobby, and you go make some fucking friends with people who have a lot of power.
It's worked for Tim Cook, and pick your CEO. They figured that out.
It's worked for Sergey Nazarov. It's worked for Brad Garlinghouse. You need some friends. You need some friends, homie. It's working for I think the biggest hero is the USDC guy who IPO'd this year at a ridiculous valuation.
Circle,
right? Circle, yeah. Alaire. That you need to go make some fucking friends with some powerful, important people. That's what you should be doing, in my opinion. What was that, Dylan?
We're back.
Anyway, sorry, Buck. Before you were interrupted by Dylan's mustache taking up
you don't need to apologize. It's Dylan who should apologize. But it's it's like asking a dog to apologize. It's just like a dog with a weird, slightly homoerotic mustache. Anyway, so yeah, no, I think Richard's got to go make friends with people that are gonna help us, and that's how I would be marketing Pulse Chain if I were him.
Is there a difference? I agree with you. Is there a difference between I guess the old Richard? I guess I'm answering my question, but is this what we're looking for? The old Richard who is just like, I'm the dude, I'm the king, this is what I think, and this is it, versus actually being friendly with people, and I don't want to say getting into bed with them because I don't think you'd ever do that, but sort of being, I guess, more, what's the word I'm looking for? Just more approachable instead of standoffish. Does that ever change?
He's actually a really schmoozy salesperson.
He is, and the pre-Hex launch Richard Hart, when he was in Malta, that dude in the strut black and white suit, that's the guy that I was like, man, this is it right here.
Yeah, no. He was well liked by people, and he was good. He was good at that. That's actually his thing. He created this whole avatar of I'm the biggest badass motherfucker. Look at me, outrage marketing. I have a big dick. In 2020, and that's what most people have seen him. But when I've hung out with him in person, I saw this kind of normal, sales background type of personality, right? He's pretty good at taking photos with you and telling and smiling with you, and making small talk and things like that. So I'd like to see him actually go do that in the best venues, basically. So he may not feel confident to go do that yet for legal reasons. He may not feel confident to do that because he doesn't have a success to brag about. His Hex glory is sort of well in the past now in crypto terms, right? And he's got these two albatrosses with Pulse and PulseX hanging around his neck at the moment. So I think that's why I think this particular one is so important to him, because he can just kind of change the whole subject and go, yeah, raised too much there, but look at, did you see ProveX? It did a 50x, it did 100x. right? You know, it's like, you know, what people will always say is, "What have you done for me lately?" So yeah, I think that's kind of the key thing. I think is rehabilitating his image, getting out and talking to like actually important people, getting us on exchanges. I know he doesn't care about that, but that's what I would do if I were him. That'd be useful. But at least be taken seriously. Try and be taken seriously by, you know, crypto as a whole, the crypto industry. Because for us to try to do this entirely with people who know nothing about crypto is a very long and hard sales process, right? Like it would be good to be part of the industry more broadly.
Before we get to Dylan, I wanted to bring this up here if I can find it, because perhaps Firewhale is listening to the show, because the tweet is timely. I don't know if he is or not, but he opined on this very topic just literally a minute or two ago. Let me go full screen here. What was 99% of your marketing success since day one? He's talking to Richard. Was YouTube? It was YouTube, your YouTube channel, and other cool channels. You went doing interviews. YouTube is what built you, or is what built what you have today. And 10% was Heck's first year affiliate platform. I would use the million in SEO traffic and optimization. You can hire companies to do this, where you work your website backlinks and search around keywords like crypto, stake, yield, trustless. You can also use PPC. Pumping charts right now is definitely not an option. I tried to pump 4 million on his coin X game on Pulse, and users swallowed it. Few know your pain like I do of Pulse Chain front running your moves and benevolence. Tornado cash it all. Consider Pulse Classic. Interesting. From the Firewhale. Thoughts on that, Dylan, before we learn how you and your mustache would spend $1 million on marketing? Unmuted.
I muted myself there. My bad. Hold on, let me see here. I totally missed what Saldex said here, bud.
What happened? You all right?
He missed it. He said.
Hold on.
Oh, Firewhale was suggesting like SEO and
yeah, I'll say I like those suggestions. I think that's a pretty good post. And yeah, like Richard should definitely stream. He should go in Twitter Spaces. He should, like, if he doesn't want to go to Mar-a-Lago and sit down with the president and, you know, Brian Armstrong, then the next best thing is lots of YouTube and Twitter Spaces and talking to important people, right? I begged him to do that 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, the whole it was just a layup to just go talk to Trump.
And I begged him to do that when, you know, he was sitting in the same space with Elon Musk for a couple minutes, and Kim.com rugged him.
Yeah, I remember that.
I said, like, don't be discouraged by this. Just keep doing it. He's like, no, it's stupid. I'm never doing it again. I hate it. He was like literally pouting about it. But I think Firewell's spot on.
Is there what's the new generation of SEO with AI? Because like if people aren't going to use like Google searches anymore, they're just going to do like Ask Grok for everything. Is there like a new version of that? I would probably try to invest in whatever gets.
Not yet, really. I mean, that's kind of like my background. But if you look at Google's like earnings numbers, which I'm guessing that you do since you're also involved in traditional markets, like the big fear for the past like 3-4 quarters is OMG, you know, AI is going to take over search. So if I just ask ChatGPT all my questions, Google's going to lose out on the revenue, and they're just piling up like record quarters. Their ad revenue hasn't been affected yet, and I think they're kind of holding back, you know, certain things. They could turn on some spigots if they wanted to, but they're just slow walking it and kind of seeing what everybody else is doing at the same time, building out their AI backend. You can do like little tricks, like not tricks, but just methods of, since Microsoft, I think what they're in bed with ChatGPT, so you can queue up some things in the back end of like their webmaster tools, which people don't really think about. Google, or people usually use Google webmaster tools to, verify their websites and stuff like that, but they neglect Bing or whatever Microsoft is now their search engine. But some data suggests that if you optimize that end of things on the Microsoft side, that you do show up better in Chat GPT answers, or queries, I should say. So little things like that. But right now, I mean, it's still kind of like a new paradigm, really. It's like everybody's finding out, what the deal is with the worst expectations for classic search engines. But again, the numbers aren't quite that bad. So
interesting.
Also, is there how did these people get these the information for your Coinbase stuff? Like, so if you have a Coinbase account, how the fuck do they send you the two-factor authentication? Here's your code or whatever. Like,
the scam stuff via text.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
So I mean, there's got to be a client list there somewhere. You can start
a lot of stuff. A lot of good stuff gets leaked.
Yeah. So the postcard guys, they've sent hundreds of postcards to the Ledger leak, right? Or the Ledger leak, right?
And the targeting for the tablets seems to be, pretty good.
Yeah. So I mean, if there was a new, like, however they find your phone number from Coinbase, okay, you could essentially just be like, hey, look, we got your information from Coinbase, right? If you want to avoid, your information from being leaked, you can just use our P2P service, right? And then you don't have any middleman there, right? I think that'd kind of be a clever way. You just literally just send the postcards. But yeah, all the other regular stuff, SEO, whatever, blah blah blah, and then him just streaming and all that. I mean, the rest of it's no brainers. I mean, honestly, there's only so many ways you can market. To be honest, so.
Especially
I don't think
crypto.
you have to reinvent the wheel on this one. You just have to do what works. And if you're not doing the most easiest and obvious ones, which we've all said a million times, it's hard to come up with like some unique, novel idea with, sending out tablets, and that's going to somehow capture the hearts and minds of millions of people. I don't know. I hope it still works. Maybe there's like a lagged effect with the tablet. And people are just like, all right, we got them. They're not something that you actually want to take a picture of and post online, but it's like, it's just sitting in your house. And then, I don't know, maybe in 6, 7, 8 months from now, if Hex is pumping or Pulse Chain's pumping and it shows up on the news, Richard comes back and it's like, oh, I think I've seen that somewhere. Oh, let's dig up that tablet. And I don't know, that's probably like the best case scenario at this point for those.
So I want to just say, Cabana, tomorrow I think I'm going to take the first spot in the leaderboard, assuming nothing changes. So I'll be putting in a pretty healthy size figure tomorrow.
We're all bearish enough for you.
Yeah, I would like you guys to be more bearish.
Okay.
But
well, this isn't helping that you're going to take over number one. So
yeah, but I do intend to do that tomorrow. So you'll see ProveX pool ETH in the first place tomorrow. So unless some massive whale comes and puts in like $1 million, then maybe I won't be first place. But as it stands today, I'll be in first place.
Well, why not wait until day 21 to make sure other massive whales don't get in?
Yes. Yeah, I think waiting makes sense. I wouldn't be sacking right now if I were you guys, but I've got an axe to grind because I'm going to obviously most likely be running a sack pool for this thing. So it makes sense for me to basically get in there early and let people know that we're probably doing it. So yeah, I'll be chipping in enough to basically let people know that we're probably doing it. Yeah,
Would this be
I
the
think
actual pool address?
yes, it will be. Yeah.
Okay.
But
Breaking news, everybody out there.
yeah. But yeah, I'm basically saying to people like, look, we don't know anything yet from Richard. Like the guy could be Jim Jonesing it for all we know. So there's no reason to necessarily rush in. I'm only rushing in because I've got my own kind of reasons to. But I would have never imagined in a million years that I would have potentially be the number one sacker, even for a minute, in a Richard Hart sacrifice.
Yeah.
So I think this is kind of funny.
So like some people in the chat are already interested. Pookie13 has been asking me, is Buck going to do something? Is Buck going to do something? So I think he might have been in one of your all spaces. So are there?
I don't think I know this guy actually. So it's not like I paid him to come in.
Well, word is getting out, sir.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I mean, look, we don't know very much, so like I'm hesitant to just officially launch it now, just because there are various weird things Richard could do, that would be adverse, right? And I'll potentially put in pretty good size into this, but I would like to know more. I'd like to have more clarity, particularly about when we're getting the token. Like if we're waiting for him to fully finish this thing and wait 2-3 years for it, I have a different opinion on this thing than if it's like, hey, we're gonna issue the token to you in January and we'll launch as soon as we can after that, right? Like it's a different sort of decision. So I'm waiting for that. But yeah, basically just at a high level, the PH team, my partners and I, we're because of the incredibly low valuation and the lack of interest in this thing, because the community's been so angry and divided about this. No, I wouldn't even say divided. I think it's actually been very one-sided, negative in general. Because sentiment's been so negative,
especially on the core thing or lack thereof, that was like the final nail that drove everybody over the edge.
Which also surprised me in a happy way, actually. But I know it drew the ire of a lot of people, and I understand why. But because of that, I'm actually now very interested in Richard's sacrifice. Even though, like, I hate the name, the product is a small niche case that doesn't really do a lot of business elsewhere. I just think you're getting potentially a Richard Hart coin at a $10 million market cap, which by the way, like that's what Hex's market cap was when back in 2019 when things dropped a lot, right? So I've been there before, and I know what kind of potential that has. So I'm interested in it. Okay, now the next thing is the thing I don't like. Richard has this volume bonus. He's made it even bigger. It's 3x now. Okay. I don't want to be in this unless I'm getting as much of that volume bonus as I possibly can. And I don't think you guys should be either, which means you either need to be a whale like Rackham or you need to be in a pool. I looked around, nobody's doing a pool. So I said, okay, fuck, I guess I have to do a pool, right? So I just basically begged the boys, like, hey, can you do this? And they said, sure. It's not a hard thing for us to do. We do very, very complex DeFi shit. This is easy. So they're already knocking out everything as we speak. So I think
disclosure, if I can endorse your team, I've worked with you guys before with sacking things, and I believe Yash has, and many other OGs have. So I can vouch that it runs smoothly and properly, and I endorse it. So
Yeah,
thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have very smart guys that do our stuff. I'm not one of them. I'm just a idiot that goes and talks with Dylan. But we basically want to make sure that there's a set of safe hands, and nobody else put their hand up. So it looks like I'm probably going to be doing it. Yeah, we'll have a pool. I'm looking for a cornerstone investor or two, maybe. If that sounds like you can reach out to me on Telegram. But we expect, just with my network and Dylan's network in the community, that we should get some pretty decent uptake. So I'm hoping that we'll, be in the first place, or, the second or the third place pretty easily. Depends on who comes in, right? Like, I don't know what God Whale's going to do. I don't know what Rackham's going to do. But if you are a whale, and you want to join our pool, get in touch with me. I can probably do something about your fee if you back us up early as a cornerstone investor. Yeah, the pool will have a small fee only on success. So if we're not successful at getting you guys the multiplier, we're not going to take anything. That's very important to us. We want you to have a good experience. This is really about the opportunity in this thing for us. It's not about making a lot of money off a fee, but I do have to take something for the boys, to ask them to do the hard work on it. Yeah, we should be the biggest sacrificer for ProveX tomorrow. And there's probably more behind it coming as well. We're hoping you guys will join us. We've got our Telegram open right now, ProveX Pool, t.me/ProveX Pool. There will be
you
a
throw
website
that in the chat, Dylan, if you could, please.
There will be a website, ProveXpool.com. It's not up yet. So really simple. Yeah, we'll have all the details when Richard gives us the details of what he's doing, because that's the one thing. The one caveat here is it's pretty hard to answer questions on this thing when we don't even know what the fuck Richard's doing yet, and we're already like day 2 into the sacrifice now. Day 3.
He might be watching this show, waiting to drop his new video. So you never know. He's a fan of Happy Hour.
Maybe he's being polite.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Maybe he's being polite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Richard.
Well, I'm a fan of Richard, and I'm absolutely elated that he's back and that he's doing this, and he's showing the community that he's committed to, continuing this journey with us. I think all the people that are butthurt, need to think outside their own paper losses. I know paper losses are painful, but it's a wonderful thing that Richard is seemingly back and ready to engage with the world again soon. So I wanna support him in this endeavor, and I actually love this sacrifice, that the way it's sort of shaped out. I think, if you let your butt hurt get the best of you here, there's a chance you're missing out on a really good opportunity, right? It's because you're so butt hurt that the opportunity might actually be really good this time, when it wasn't a good opportunity last time, right? And that's super important. But you do not want to make the same mistake that you made last time, which is you do not want to let some whale get a 3x multiplier and you get 1, and then that whale will basically sells down on you constantly. Right? It's absolutely important that you get as close to parity with those whales through a SAC pool as possible. Otherwise, you don't really stand a chance. You have to perform 3 times as well. The coin has to perform 3 times as well just to break even, right, for you. So please do consider a SAC pool if you are going to put money into this, especially if you're small. And if you're a whale, come talk to me. I wanna make sure we dominate this, and would love to have some of you guys along too. So I think that's absolutely essential. And you know, we're, I think, a team of safe hands that does DeFi for a living. And we've been running, you know, the most complex protocols on Pulse Chain successfully, without being hacked, without having any bullshit, despite what Richard said, without being hacked for, you know, several years now, when everybody else got hacked. So we know what we're doing, I think, pretty well. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Dylan and I will be doing a lot of promotion about this once the decision is, you know, properly made. You know, we are waiting for Richard to give us more information, but so long as he doesn't do something batshit crazy, like for example, change his mind and say, I'll accept RH coins.
Yep.
That would be like, that would sort of defeat my thesis a bit.
Kill it. Yeah.
For this. So
as somebody suggested in the chat,
the RH coins drop enough.
Yeah, somebody suggested in the chat earlier, it's like, oh, well, what if he waits until like day 21 or 3 days left in the opening phase, and it's just like, okay, I'll take some cores now. So I think that would be
at a huge discount.
Yeah, it would be best served to wait, you know, like you said, and have that amount and just let it play out, and then be like, okay, no curveballs at the last very second.
I'm taking a 95% haircut on the very last day, if that's how he wants to dispose of his RH coins. I think that would be. I think the community would be okay with that. So that's a great idea. So yeah, we're gonna be probably doing this, but you know, we just want to make sure we want to reduce the Jim Jones risk as much as possible. So we want to see what Richard gives us, proof of life. Yeah, and yeah, proof of non-insanity, because we really just don't know a lot yet. So, but yeah, ProveXpool.com. That's going to be the website, t.me/ProveXpool. Come say hi to us. We'll give you guys you know, we'll answer questions as best as we can. Yeah, you know, if you don't use our pool, that's okay too. Just make sure you use a pool. Right now, I think we're the only pool that I'm aware of. So we're your only option. But maybe someone else will build one, and maybe they'll be better than us. But I don't know of anybody currently who has both the capital, which we have, the network, which we have, and the investment thesis, right? You know, there's a lot of people that could do this, but you know, they're pretty butthurt and angry right now, so they're not interested. So yeah, I think we're going to be a little bit contrarian and say, actually, this thing might have potential, and we want to hear Richard out, and we want to help you guys safely get as close to that 3x multiplier as we possibly can, through banding together. And it's great that there, you know, is 1,000 of you listening, because that means we can, you know, get there pretty easily. Seeing as I'm going to put in enough myself to basically get first place right away anyway. If you guys come in a little bit, if you choose to sacrifice, you know, we should have a pretty good chance at getting a good spot near the top of the leaderboard. Yeah, we would appreciate your support, guys, and your help with this.
So I'm looking forward to your pool. If you guys decide to do it, I do have some experience with running pools, and so one question I know you're probably going to get, and so maybe either Dylan or Buck, if you want to answer this, is um, maybe you're still deciding on what the fee will be, but you might want to explain how the fee works, and because there's some people that they think that you're robbing them. They think that they don't understand that if you take just a percentage off the volume bonus, that you're still way better off than you would sacking on your own, even if you are paying a whatever percentage fee. So maybe if either of you guys want to explain that really quickly.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not written in stone yet, but what I think to me is fair, and actually probably according to Dylan, who asked some people that ran prior pools. So I think we're actually more competitive than most of the other pools have been historically this way. But what I came up with was a success fee based on what we get in terms of the volume bonus, right? So typically when you do financial transactions like IPOs or things like that, it's around 10%. That's sort of like the normal kind of standard Wall Street fee. And this would just be 10% of the success. So that would translate to, let's say we get 3%, we get 3x the bonus. The team would take 0.2 basically of that. So you'd be getting 2.8. And I think that's pretty good. And I will also say we'd reserve the right to reduce our fee if we want to. So we'd probably want to massage that so people feel like they got a good experience, right? That's pretty important to us. Like we want to make sure that people are happy with that. But there is a little bit of work in this. Obviously, Dylan and I got to go run around promoting it. The boys have to actually implement it and execute it. There's obviously a risk to us and as well. But yeah, it's a fair question. I would hope we're competitively priced versus anybody else doing something similar. And I think you already kind of made the important point, which is that yeah, if you don't have a good shot at getting the majority of that bonus, you're kind of screwed. So if you're going into this thing with $10 or $100 or even $1,000, like you're kind of screwing yourself, right? So you can go look at all the people that have sacrificed so far, that have chipped in like a couple $1,000s or less. Those people have already shot themselves in the foot. I'm sorry to say it, like if you're one of them, but like you've just basically giving yourself a 70% haircut, right? It can still work out for you, but it would work out so much better if you just start with 2.8x bonus multiplier rather than a 1 or a 1.2 or 1.3.
Yeah, so I was looking at, like, if you were to sack like $1,000 right now, you're getting like a 1.7, but as people come in, it's going to get crowded out, and you're still way better off paying the 10% fee if that's what it comes out to. Let's say you're still way better off paying that fee and getting into the pool versus still trying to do it on your own. So that's the thing I think people get caught up on, is they think it's a 10% fee, that you're robbing me. Oh my God, the prices are low. Like all that kind of FUD comes in. But if you can explain that, hey, it's on the back end and you're still getting a better deal than if you were to do it on your own, which you're still free to do, of course, right? But just the math doesn't work out for you if you do it that way.
Yeah. I think.
Oh, hold on, Dylan. Just one thing. I think if you do the math on the fee, it shouldn't be controversial to anyone. I think we're being pretty reasonable there. I think the real risk of this is like, how much can you trust the people behind it? We're guys that have a lot to lose in this ecosystem. So like, you know, not only do we have competency in crypto that we've demonstrated by running, you know, the most complex protocols successfully on Pulse Chain for years now, but you know, we have millions and millions of TVL in our protocols that are at risk every day. So you know, we're probably about as safe a set of hands you could hope for in this community. There's a lot of other guys out there that might try to run pools, but they don't really have anything at risk in terms of their reputations, right? And a lot of them probably run you know, like meme coin scams and, you know, shit like that. You know, which gives you an insight into what they are. So like the biggest thing I'd be worried about with the pool is just how much can you trust the people that actually operate it. The fee is probably it should be less controversial actually. But yeah, thank you for the question. It's a great question.
And we can see just by a casual look at the leaderboard, 51K is in first place, 40K second, 34 takes up third and fourth each, and 31, 32 for fifth.
So I would like to point out, as it stands right now, if we were first place and you were in the pool, it'd be like you're number 3. So it's pretty good in my opinion. If that makes sense.
Say that again.
So like, all right, if with the pool, right? If we were number 1, even if you sacked $1,000, it would be like you had the bonus of the number 3 slot. You understand? With the fee,
you'd be at 2.8.
Correct.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like you know, like you can't beat that, bro. Like that's great.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But when this is all said and done, Mr. $50,000 first place guy, unless he chips in more, is
he's not
going
gonna
to
be
get
first.
he's not gonna be first tomorrow. But not only that, there's going to be much bigger wallets that chip in, and he's going to end up with way fewer points than you'll be getting in a pool that's, you know, $1 million in size, right? So, you know, my advice to you would be get yourself in a pool. You can bet on the one that you like the most. You know, so long as they're decent size, they should do pretty well in this. But this guy who's actually in first place right now, unless he's going to put in a lot more capital, which he maybe could, he's actually fucked himself. He's given himself a 70% haircut. That means it's like you take that 50K and you multiply it by 0.3, right? So, you know, what is that, 9K? You know, like it's you know, like wah. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean? It's sorry, 15K, sorry. Not 9K. Yeah, there you go. Price is right. Price is wrong. So that guy, unless he's going to contribute more capital, has basically made his 50K worth 15K in my mind. And that's sad for me to see. So hopefully he's got a lot more money to chip in himself, and it won't make a difference for him. But you know, for the rest of you guys, like really go find yourself the best sack pool you can, if you are going to consider doing this, and only do it through a sack pool. You know, because you don't want to be Rackham again, guys. You want to be the Rackham. All right. And you know, we all want to be Rackham together, collectively. That's what Dylan and I are here to do. We are all Rackham now. So that's really our mission with this. So check us out on t.me/ProveX pool, and you know, hopefully we'll be able to announce officially that we're moving forward with this this weekend. And it should be live actually, this weekend, most likely. Yeah, thank you for letting us discuss this as well, Cabana, and we appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. No problem whatsoever. Just because, mainly for the fact that I've gone through you guys before for your products and had great experiences, and would absolutely do it again, and will be doing it again. So, really looking forward to it.
Same. I'll be snacking with you one way or another.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And then, like, if someone else who's better than us wants to do this, then like I'm happy to sack through them. But right now we're the only end up. So I reckon it's great if we can hopefully take out the top spot, or second place to God Whale or whatever it is. But I want to give us the best shot at this thing. I want the community to have a win here. I want Richard to have a win, but I'd also like to have you people that have been paying attention through all of this and getting murdered to have a win here. And I think this is the best possible chance that you can get, right? But yeah, the maths don't math unless you get the 3x, right? That's the reality, in my opinion. It's going to be very, very hard. So thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. And I think it's important what you just said there is the community needs and deserves a win, in my view. And if this is it, then, community is the key word, because, if it's gelled together and united, it's, I dare to say, one of, if not the most powerful community in all of crypto. But when you have things go against you, as many as we have over years, how can you not have cryfags and scammers and be invaded by just a whole bunch of nonsense that hurts the actual chain? I've seen both ends of this, both sides of this community, and it's like the old quote, I've been rich and I've been poor. Rich is better. In this community, I've been happy and I've been sad. Happy is better. I know how good it is to be happy, how great this community is. And if we get a dub here, it'd be great. Absolutely great for not just morale, but moving things on, positive sentiment, backing up RH if he starts to reappear on different platforms, and just flooding the chats again. And the excitement I would love to see again. So I know some people say green candles are positive price, isn't that's not all marketing is. Well, it is part of marketing, because there is a snowball effect, like it or not. For those haters out there, you get positive vibes, positive sentiment, positive price, positive flows of capital. It makes a huge difference, for community. So thank you guys for putting this together, talking about it on here. I mean, time has flown by. It's like we're over 3 hours now, over 1,200 viewers across all platforms, shattered just about every happy hour record. I don't think we did the YouTube one just because RH was on, but X, we're killing it. We're over.
I think Big K's been holding you back.
I think so, man. Big K, search the employment picture out there, my friend.
Yeah. It's like Yash has just brought him, and you brought the young guys in.
I announced a new co-host for a day, and look what.
Damn.
Hey, I'm just saying, communism is pretty popular these days, all right?
Yeah, it's the Mamdani effect.
Comrade Yash Mamdani, you beat me to it. He has taken over. And the Cabana Communist Happy Hour show has been born. And
got a ring to it a little bit. You know?
Look at us. Look at us. Poor Big K. Miss
That was
you,
fair.
Big K. He's flying back from Asia, so he could not be here tonight, but hopefully the next stream. Yeah, gents. I mean, we covered a lot. I guess Big K and I've been saying this for ever now, maybe a year or two. It's like, you know, shows have been slower in between because there hasn't been that much to talk about. Well, lately we've gotten a lot to talk about, and things are starting to get a little bit exciting again. Maybe not exciting. I want to, like, you know, overstate it, but it's starting to get a little fun. There are things to talk about. We have a founder who is in the stages of becoming more active. We have like product announcements and sacrifice announcements. And those sacrifices aren't everybody's cup of tea, but it is what it is. Things to talk about, things that are happening in this community once again. So, you know, we have a lot of OGs that are in this chat. A lot, you know, have never left. A lot, you know, come on this show. Shout out to Coffee before we close. Thanks for him coming on earlier. And yeah, we go around the room and just, you know, tell us if you want to be found, how we can find you. And I guess Buck and Dylan already did their shilling, but Yash, where can we find you, my man?
You can, I am Comrade Yash. You can find me at the next communist convention.
Are you moving to New York City, sir?
Yeah, I'm gonna move there so they can use my rent. All right, and I can get food, groceries. So you guys can find me there. But you'll probably also find me in the ProveX pool at some point.
Hey,
wow. Hey, there you go.
Me too. Buck ProveX.
Yeah, you can find me at t.me/ProveXpool.com for the next 20 days or so.
Only.
only that long, because that's all this takes. It doesn't take more than that. So yeah, if Richard changes the amount of sack time to like 365 days, I'm gonna be really pissed. But yeah, I will be there for the next 20 days answering your questions. I'll be in Twitter Spaces talking to people, getting yelled at by crazies, being called a scammer, even though I'm giving Richard the money. So I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. This is going to be a heap of fun. And yeah, I'm really excited to see what Richard's going to say, because, you know, we don't know yet. But I'm optimistic about the way this is shaping up, just because you guys are all so pessimistic. So keep up the whinging, keep up the cry fagging, stay angry, stay pissed off. You're really helping the cause, guys. Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thank you. Dill Pickle, close it out. Where can we find you, brother?
Well, you can find me in, I don't know, this pool chat. I don't know. It might be a big thing. It's called t.me/ProveX pool. You can definitely find me in there. I will be slaving away, answering as many questions as I can. Very attentive, etc. I do look forward to some upcoming spaces that we will probably schedule, right? Me and Buck. It's always a good time. And man, last time we had a chat, we had some pretty good crazies. I think so. And you know,
I like that Buck seeks out the crazies. Like he encourages them to come up and speak. So
it's
and apologies.
Listen, brother.
Yeah, it's extremely entertaining, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, not only do you get some brain, you also get some laughs, and it's a nice little mix, right?
Plenty. And hopefully our audio works, because I tried to join you all last week.
Oh, yeah.
I think yours was messed up too, Dylan. So
but
yeah, I tried to get on like 3 times and couldn't speak, but they are worth attending. So definitely check these guys' Twitter
We try to kind of talk about the investment opportunities, and I think we do a good job of being balanced. Saying what we like and don't like about things. We don't record them because it's nice to kind of let people speak their minds honestly. Without having someone clip it and go, oh look, this guy said this, and it's completely taken out of context. I
Look
think
at all the
they're
cabal avatars in the room. This is how they're scheming.
Yeah. I mean, we're the cabal, except we do this out in the open, and are very happy to have a talk, with you guys. So I don't know. Generally, when you run a cabal, you wouldn't go to a public town square to run it. You would, probably go to like a place that looks like Mar-a-Lago, right? That has security guards at the door and memberships. But yeah, we like doing it. It's fun for Dylan and I. The crazies are useful because in the land of the 80 IQ, the guy with the 99 IQ is the king.
Holy
basically.
Fuck, he's a genius.
Yes, yeah. You look like a genius when you're talking to 80 IQ people. So it's really useful for us.
There you go. Dylan, your mustache battery is dying again. Did you tell us where we could find you?
Yeah. T.me/ProveX pool. And I'll be in there. You can DM me with any questions you have.
Your DMs are open?
They are. I removed some asshole.
Oh, the lady that
No. Some asshole fucking sent a bunch of spam to my DMs, right? So I had to turn on the pay to chat with me feature. Right. That is gone now. So, that's not an invitation to send me more spam.
All right, I'm on.
You guys can talk to me now. So
Dylan's going to be shaking his ass as hard as he can for you guys for the next 20 odd days. And so
he
will
wants
I.
to increase his sack.
I will be sacking to this, and I want to
Something like
make
that.
sure that we are number one. So
we just care about being as close to number one as we can be reasonably. That's all we care about. The money's all going to Richard. So
we think we need proof of life.
Yeah, assuming it is Richard, yes. That's a fair question.
Perhaps it's the Russians.
Ugh.
Not the Saudis, though.
I hope not.
Okay.
Yeah. What if he donates it all? Just all
to charity?
To
longevity?
Yeah. I raised another $1 million, guys. Anyways.
I donated $5 million to save lives. What have you done? All right. Chat. Oh, well, let me thank the panelists first. Like I said, shout out Coffee for being here. Big K could not be here, but perhaps what was holding this show back. LOL. Love you, Big K. Can't wait for you to be back. We are ending the show on the highs of viewers. Yash, Buck, and Dylan, thank you guys for hanging around for 3+ hours, which seems like maybe 90 minutes to me. I was actually surprised when I looked up the clock, but we discussed a lot, and it's good to have a lot to discuss. So that's really cool. ProveX. Let me take down the banner here. Wanted to thank everybody again. Record number over 1,200 viewers across all platforms. T.me ProveX pool. So get in there. I actually had the window up earlier, and looks like a lot of people from this chat have already entered the Telegram room. So props to you all. And yeah, looking forward to this. Looking forward to the next few weeks to see how much this thing perhaps can swell. The different game theorizing that will take place. Hopefully a Richard Hart video drop tonight, as he could be watching the show waiting for us to wrap up. And yeah, let's see it. I think a weekend drop would be good. Maybe even tomorrow. A lot of eyeballs, a lot of people, home, people around talking about it, instead of like a Tuesday night or something. So we'll see. But thank you, chat, for hanging around this long. Numbers are still going up. You guys rock. Big K and I will tweet out or post, whatever you call it now on X, when we'll be on again. And in the words of President Trump, the ProveX pool run by these two gentlemen down here has my complete and total endorsement. So
pretty good impression.
Appreciate it, gentlemen. And yeah, we will see you next time. Stay tuned to the socials for the next stream. A lot of things are starting to perk up on Pulse Chain. Getting fun again. Appreciate it. Cheers, everybody.